This is a worldwide exclusive. Colin has never spoken on the podcast before.
I've got the London title, got the English heavyweight title, and I've got the British heavyweight title. He was a bit flabby, so I bit that nipple off.
Can I call you Colin the Cannibal?
My stepdad was Charlie the Hat. He was a naughty boy from round them ends. It's into a man called T. He was the dude round Dartford at the time.
I know you mean.
I mean, flew open. Drive in there. I'm like, where are we? David Bellamy's Avery Wildlife Sanctuary. I said, and what are we fucking doing here, Paul? And he says, I'm going to nick some parrots.
Do you know you're fucking stealing with David Bellamy's parrot?
Lee Murray. He beat fuck out of me outside the ends one night. A younger Lenny Mclean. Headbutted me, ripped out my pills. Lovely. Right, two choices. One, I'll give these to the old Bill. Two, you come and work for me. So we've had a fight, and I've knocked him out so badly that he can't stand up. He's trying to. Caesar's in Streatham. Roy Shaw's going to be there. Oh my God. People want to remember them a little bit more. British culture of underground naughtiness. They took my other leg, and as I was going down for a football kick, and it fucking caught me in the eye.
You've gone through the shit. You're now in a positive place. Colin Wilby's back. Welcome back to season 3 of the Criminal Connection podcast. I want to say a massive thank you to all our season 3 sponsors. We love you. Big thanks to our sponsor, IME. This global tech outfit ain't messing about. They've got these slick video interviews that have you connecting like there's no tomorrow. Whether you're running a business, running the streets, or doing your own thing. Perfect for those in marketing, recruitment, admissions, and even for auditions. And their platform, smooth as silk, designed with you lot in mind. IME's the ticket to making those connections count. A big thanks to Wildcrest Events for sponsoring the show. From adrenaline pumping sporting events to chart topping sensations, Wildcrest Events have them all. Make sure you drop them a line down below. And if you put in CCP5 off, you will get a 5% discount. Now that's a proper good deal. I want to say a massive shout out to our sponsors, VIP Security Services. VIP Security Services have been running for 35 years. They offer security solutions for our Essex, London, and all the home counties. VIP Security Services will protect you, your home, and your business. Prevention is always better than cure, and you're in safe hands with VIP Security Services. So if you'd like to find out about any of our fabulous sponsors, make sure you check out the links in the description below. Welcome back to the Criminal Connection podcast. My name is Terry Stone, aka the Podfather. Today we're joined by a very special guest. His name's Colin Wilby. He's a close protection officer. He's been a mercenary. He's worked overseas. He's a cage fighter and he's a bare knuckle boxing champion. So please put your hands together for Colin Wilby. Woo!
Thank you, Tel. Nice to see you, mate. Sorry about the sweaty hands.
That's all right, mate.
Nervous.
I've just wanted to say, you look like you shouldn't be in a ring. You look like you should be on a catwalk. You look fucking super cool today.
I don't dress like this, Tel.
I love it.
I wear a tracksuit. My mate told me to dress like this. Yeah, but I didn't. I've never done a podcast, and I've thought, why do you need to dress up for radio? It's not radio, is it?
No, it's both.
I've never done one, mate.
It's visual and it's audio. So,
yeah.
So this is a worldwide exclusive. Colin has never spoken on a podcast before. I'm sure he's going to be inundated after this, but you know, just really interested in finding out a little bit about you know, where you grew up and, you know, how you got into doing what you do.
All right. Okay. So where do you want me to start, Till?
Right in the beginning, you know.
All right.
Where was you born?
All right. I was born in Farnborough.
Oh, in Hampshire?
Yeah. Farnborough in Kent.
Oh, in Kent. Right,
yeah.
Okay.
And my dad was involved with fencing, some stolen stuff and that.
Right. Mostly
to do with my stepdad giving him these but he wanted out the life. So when I was born, he moved sort of Lincolnshire.
Yeah.
So and then I went to school, private school there. It's pretty much basic, good upbringing. My mum, she was an alcoholic.
Right.
My dad was an alcoholic, but he could drink and like you couldn't tell whether he was always a good drinker.
Right.
My mum weren't. Yeah, there was it was a little bit of turmoil, but mostly it was a good upbringing, mate. I can't moan. Yeah. But then like my mum moved from she moved down to Lincolnshire to be like closer to us.
Yeah.
And things happened. A couple of years went past. My mum ended up in Dartford. She was in the fellowship, the AA.
Right.
30 she's dead now. 2 years ago.
Okay.
She was sober for 34 years. She was an advocate for mental health, being sober, sobriety. And that sort of rubbed off on me, but only just now.
Right.
So my mum moved to Dartford. A few years went past.
How old was you then, Colin?
When my mum moved to Dartford, I want to say, when my mum moved to Dartford, I want to say 15. I want to say that because I can remember having a 17th birthday with her. Yeah. And then like something happened and I ended up moving from Lincolnshire, skip a couple of years, over to Dartford with my mum. Now that was a big culture shock. My dad was money. Like I grew up around nice things.
Right.
All the time, big houses, nice things. And then moving to Dartford.
It's a wake up call.
It was in council house. I wouldn't say rougher people, Dartford to Lincolnshire. You got some rough people down now, but different people.
Yeah.
It was like opening my eyes to a different. I was very, very shut off from it all.
Right.
And like moving to Dartford was a sort of an eye opener. Like there's not just white people, it's not just black people, there's white people, there's gypsies, blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? You're learning about all these other cultural niches as well. But I was blind to it all. Yeah. So like it was a massive explosion. It was like me waking up at 20. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and then like just working. Like I had welding qualifications for what I've done before, but I was working for GlaxoSmithKline for a number of years, welding their flanges, which carries the. Right. I was working on the pipeline that carries the HIV drug. It carried it from one building over the road to another building. It was so so dangerous, that drug, that you had to wear like an hazmat sort of suit when you was working indoors in this building. And even if you was to catch your suit on a fucking, I'm allowed to swear, don't matter.
Oh, you can,
Even if you was to catch your suit and rip it on a nail, immediately you'd have to hit a button, lay down and wait for them to come in and get you.
Yeah, if you say too many swear words, Colin, on YouTube you get beeped out. But on
Should I just say them all now?
No, but it's fine because we have the uncensored version on Spotify and Apple. So
watch that one.
Yeah, so you can listen to us being abusive and swearing and talking.
I'm going to try my hardest not to swear every word. But
what's your favourite swear word? See, that is my favourite. See, that's my favourite swear word. And some people get really offended by it, but I actually look at it as a term of endearment. So you can say, I fucking love you.
Yes,
you're great. You're such a. But it's not really saying you're such a. It's like a term of endearment.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's a dual purpose. Yeah, you can like be nasty with it or.
But you know, I never thought. I remember like if you said in the 70s, people go, oh, it like sucked the life out of them.
I know a lot of people that still that's a taboo word.
Yeah.
In this day and age,
I do think has become a word that lots of people say. I think the best people that say it are women. When you're a woman say it,
yeah, because it's shock value, isn't it?
You just laugh, and because a lot obviously proper ladies shouldn't use that naughty word.
Well, I don't know. Some of the ladies I've been wrapped around, they use naughty words. Right. But mate, you're right there. Yes, used a lot. I use it a lot.
So when you was like obviously growing up, did you was you rough and tumbling? Was you having fights with people? Or was you?
Do you know what? The worst. Well, I'd say it's the worst and the best thing that ever happened to me is realise I could fight.
Right.
Like I said, I went to private school and I was bullied a little bit. Well, I was bullied a lot actually. My dad had a lot of money and no one like that. Got spat on a lot and that. Having the odd tear up, and I was always watching Van Damme films and trying to I went to a couple of kickboxing lessons and all that, and I weren't ever the toughest. And then when I moved to Dartford, I remember I started me working out, seeing a little bird, started going out to Zens in Dartford Town Centre.
Yeah.
I remember I had a couple of, no, it wasn't even fucking Zens, it was before I started going clubbing. I think we was going to like the cricket club at the top of the Brent, and I had a couple of fights with a couple of lorry drivers, and I thought, I can do this. This works. I'm good at it and all.
Right.
So like, fast forward, doing the doors, like, we'll get to that. There's a funny story how I got pushed into door work. Right. It was like being pushed into it.
So when you sort of realised that you could fight, did that then get you into boxing or was it like martial arts?
No, mate. I just wanted to be the fucking most nasty person. I used to do some horrible things like, I remember once I was actually running the door of Fat Sam's in Dartford and I weren't actually working this night. I was just down there. 'Cause I remember what I was wearing. I remember I was with Ricky Johnson. I was wearing a baseball hat, black jumper, and a pair of shorts, and I was just down there having a look at the club and that. And me and him were walking. I got pissed and all. And me and him were walking back from Dartford, and we was right by. It's called Dickens Avenue, right road behind my mum's. And there were, I can't remember, there were a couple of Polish dudes, or there might have been a Romanian or something, Eastern European. I've got a lot of Eastern European friends. I think my mate Ricky, he wanted to try it on with him. He got a light, mate, or a fag, and I was like, oh. Instantly, it started fighting, and they wanted to fight me. He was fucked off, the geezer I was with. Mate, he did. And I remember the big one got me on the floor down between a fucking car and the curb. I was on top of him, but his mate is kicking my head, and he's sitting on the fucking side of this car. And the geezer I'm on top of, big fat geezer, and he's tried to pull...
You said,
he's pulled me into his chest. And I remember he was a bit flabby, so I bit that fucking nipple off. It did come off and all. And I was surprised in how easy it is to bite someone's thumb off too.
What does it taste like when you bite?
It was for a bit of tea. All I could taste was claret, mate. It was
right.
just claret. And then he started screaming instantly. His mate's carrying on kicking me in the head. Oh, that was it. I had his nipple in my mouth. I bit down on it. His mate kicked me in the head, and that ripped the off. That was, yeah.
So that's what. So if you see somebody biting someone's nipple, do not kick them in the head because they may bite your nipple off.
Never kick him in the head. Fucking hell. If someone's got a nipple in their mouth, leave them alone.
Yeah. Wise words for advice there.
Jesus Christ. But anyway, the second bit happened. So I bit his nipple off, and I'm on top of him now, and he's got his thumb, and he's trying to get my mouth like away and off. So his thumb was next thing on the menu, and I was so pissed, and even the next day I thought there was a little bit of gristle stuck in between two teeth for a couple of weeks. I could not shift it, not for fucking screwdriver, not for toothbrush, and it was there for ages.
You need some of that dental tape, didn't you?
Mate, tell me, I couldn't get this fucking little bit of fucking bone or sinew out. So like, he's put his thumb in my mouth, and I've chomped down, and it come off, and I thought that fucking was easy, mate. Wow. And I've managed to crawl up to him, and now I'm biting the fucking top of his ear off his cheek. I can't remember. Oh, it's his ear, because my nephew see him in Savers a few weeks later, absolutely fucking bandaged up. And I got his ear roll off, and his mates still kicking me. But now he don't want it. This geezer's been bit to death.
Can I rename you?
Go on.
Can I call you Colin the Cannibal?
Well, I've only ever bit a few people. Like it's like
right.
I know I've got a mate in Dartford called Jim, and he's got a fucking ear like an half moon.
Wow.
Like he was fighting with a few fellas, and I don't agree with fighting.
But
really.
But I suppose because there was two of them on you.
I had to do it.
You was in that compromising position.
If I didn't do that, they would have killed me. Them
right.
They was like Eastern European and like dark block. You know what I mean? Right. They're naughty fuckers, mate. They're not subject to our laws and in their own minds. Yeah. So when that geezer, he'd give up now. He's trying to just get away from me. And I've stood up. I remember walking towards the one that's kicking me in the head. Yeah, now it's your turn. I call the police. He's putting his hand out. And I went, and by this time, I remember it like it was yesterday. His mate, all I remember him running past me, holding his ear hole, screaming with blood everywhere. And I went, all right, okay, no police, just shake my hand. He did, he grabbed my hand like an idiot. And I punched him in the head. And I remember jumping up on top of his head. I remember fluid squirting out the top of his head. I don't know what it was, but it weren't very good. But they lived. But the thing was...
Good. So there was a happy ending.
No, this is the... right? I went to Fat Sam's the week after, and the police put in the newspaper, the Dartford Times, 2 poor Eastern European people were attacked by a van full of skinheads. When I woke up the next day, I couldn't fucking move, mate. I got fucking hiding, mate. Right. I had no skin on any fucking knuckle. And I was laying on the settee. I can remember I slept on the settee and I was like, I woke up like, I can't fucking move. And I found out, I recapped it, bits kept coming back to me. I was like, And then I rang up Ricky Johnson, like, what happened to you? I mean, I held your hat, because I had a baseball hat on. I dropped that when I kept holding your hat. And but where was you? I got lumps all over my head. That shouldn't happen. There's 2 of us. There's 2 of them. But that's what I mean. Never trust anyone who said they've got your back, unless you know them.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I could have got killed. He was kicking me in the head proper hard and all.
Wow.
But yeah, that's just one.
So when did you, was it the boxing first, or was it the cage fight?
Right. Pills and dealing, that was the first. Okay. I can't get in trouble for saying that. I don't do it no more.
What's that?
Pills and dealing.
No. To be honest, I didn't know that you did that. But obviously, if you've done it,
This is how it led up to everything.
yeah.
Everything had
Got it.
there's always a starting point.
So obviously you've had this fight with these guys.
This is
It's all in the papers. They're looking for.
This is much in the future, Till. We need to come back a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm working as a pipe fitter and a flange welder for Tarvells.
Yeah.
For GlaxoSmithKline's. And I'm going out bouncing around with everyone in Dartford. I've got into Zens one night. I've banged someone with a duster. I'm in Maidstone Crown Court for 2 years. The case, sorry, Till, and 2 years the case went on for, and it ended up getting dropped out. But in that time, I was sneaking. I was on curfew. I was sneaking out, getting on the Amadeus bus, going clubbing. I loved it this time, but I was still working, doing my fucking shitty job welding, and I was getting shit money. It's £170 a week.
Right.
And then I bumped into this geezer called. Let's use a pseudonym.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to. I bumped into a man called T. And he was like, he was the dude round Dartford at the time. I even remember.
I know you mean.
I met him in 3D nightclub. That was a shithole.
Right.
It was a really bad club. And talking about pills, and I just started my experimenting with a bit of cannabis, bit of coke, pills. I love pills. Love taking speed. Clubbing. It was all about that. On the Thursday night Zens, that's where it started. And I'd even, I think to myself now, how did I do that on a Thursday night, Zens on a Thursday night, Amadeus on a Saturday night, Zens on a Sunday night, and there's all f***ing weekend.
People used to go out Wednesday to Sunday, didn't they, back then?
But I used to get up and do this welding and shit. But then one night, my mate T, he said, yeah, I'll take them. And I was like, it's about 100 in there. So, well, he said, just see how you get on with them. I was like, all right. So I remember, I finished my job on a Thursday. Went home, got ready, and had these things on me, and I thought, I'm going to take them with me. Went to Zens, come out of Zens with like a month's wages in my fucking hand. He only gave me 100, and we were talking about a tenner a pop. You know what I mean? So like, mate, I had a lot of money on me.
And what did he charge you from? Was it?
He didn't charge me anything for them.
Right.
But then the next lot, he started giving me 1,000 in a big vacuum packed sausage.
Wow.
And he gave me my first lot, and then like I had to get a couple of people working for me. I had to rent a flat out for my two little dealers.
Right.
And we had a little network of us, and it was running really fucking well. But the thing is, Tel, even people in your circle will see that you're doing well and they try to fuck you. Do you know what I mean? There's always obstacles, mate.
Yeah.
But we was quite clever. But so we was getting rid of the 1,000 pills every weekend, 1,000 pills. And then like we started to focus on going into Fat Sam's more. Now, my mate, he's dead now, Frank, he used to run Fat Sam's Persian Leisure.
Yeah.
He was a nutter, he didn't like me, but they was letting me in. And there was a big dude on the door, let's call him G for anonymity. He didn't like me at all, but they was letting me in. Then a new team went in there, and his name was Dan. And they knew I had all the drugs around me and that. And I had a few boys wrapped around me. And I used to say to my boys, go down to Fat Sam's before I get down there. Give all the bouncers what they want. And by the time I turned up there, there'd be the geese. Dan, there's no one on the front door. I walk in, I was like, where the fuck? I go to the box office, what's Dan? He's coming down and said, oh, that's a good bit of coke tonight, mate. He can't even talk. He's got fucking snot coming all down his crombie. Now his brother and his cousin running the door with him. I went, where's Thingy? And he said, he's out the back. Walked into the back garden, his brother's little fat girl, he's in a white shirt, he can see all of his sweat, you can see every tattoo underneath, he's so sweaty. He's standing there like that in the back garden, and I said, where's your brother? He's over there. I'm like, I've got this fucking place under wraps, mate. I can do anything I want in this fucking club, mate.
Right.
But that was the chair, that weren't me farting. And but that carried on for, I don't know how long that carried on for. Oh yeah, but yeah, when I walked out of Zens with that big wad of cash, I went back to work on the Friday and I went, that's me gone. I'm not working here no more. So I started dealing, running about, doing dodgy things. I've got some funny stories about my mates. There's a few of my boys, they were into thieving. I'm not a thief. Right. I've never been a thief. And they used to take me with them on a couple of their little things. And I ended up one night in David Bellamy's Avery with these two travellers. And
was he there? Was he there? Imagine him coming out.
This is mental, mate. First of all, I was with my little.
Did you know it was his house then?
No, mate.
Right, or his garden or whatever it is.
My mate P, he used to tell me about these jobs, and I'm thinking that never happened. That never happened. And with my little real estate agent, mate, Bobby Wright. Bob, you're all right, Bob. You're not a criminal. with Bobby one night, and he's suited and booted. Fucking 2 phones, always business. And my mate pulls up and he says, "Do you want to come out?" And I said, "Do you want to get in the back of the stolen Shogun? Should we go out and just see what they're doing?" He went, "Yeah, fuck it, come in." Me and Bobby got in the back. There's my mate, he's a gypsy, then Peace driving. And first of all, we drove us to this cannabis field out in, I want to say Canterbury. This is a long time ago. We was walking through it, and my mate Bobby went, "Cole, look at these." And I was like, "We're in a fucking I went, "Pete, we're in a cannabis field." And I started ripping it down. He went, "No, this is hemp. This is their test run. Next year they're going to start doing it." I was like, "Fucking right, okay, we're coming." So we've left there, and we're driving around there looking for something. And he said, "Right, this is something I wanted to do for ages." And we've turned up at this place, and there's a big metal corrugated gate. It's got the Shogun right, the bull bar right up to it, pop the lock, it flew open. We drive in there, he's clipped another little gate, and then I've looked to the side of me, and there's a picture of a fucking, like the Ghostbusters sign, with a beak, and someone putting their fingers through a fence, and 2 of their fingers missing. I'm like, "Where are we?" You know, we're in David Bellamy's Avery Wildlife Sanctuary. I said, "And what are we fucking doing here, Paul?" And he said, "I'm going to nick some parrots." Well, not them fucking parrots with the fucking bite your fingers off. My mate Bobby's sitting in the back, business. And he's caught it. And he says, "Where are you putting these parrots?" "Yeah, we just put them in the back." "With me? You're putting them parrots in the back with me?" I'm like, "No, it's not happening, Paul. They'd bite them. You can fill out the boot of this car. There's no fucking shelf in the back."
I mean, we're revealing David Bellamy's parrot heist.
You nearly got robbed, mate. You nearly was short a few fucking £100 worth of
Parrots.
Yeah. I didn't know a parrot could bite your finger off, but there was a clear sign on this fence.
Right.
Like a Ghostbuster. It was in blue, I remember it. And it was just had a picture of a beak and someone's hand and like some like perforations.
Do you know what would have been funny? If you'd have started loading them in the car and they spoke and they started going, "What are you doing? Put it back, put it back." We're going to get David onto you. fucking touch us.
But yeah.
Do you know you're fucking stealing with David Bellamy's parrots?
But yeah, fucking, that was mad. But little situations like that, I've been through loads and loads of little madnesses like that.
I just can't, I can understand why someone would do a Brinks-Mac robbery or rob a bank, but why would they rob fucking parrots? I mean, is there a big market for parrots? Or is it a special type of parrot?
This is like the outfit that this was. We planned to do a robbery.
Right.
A proper robbery. And we needed a diamond car.
Right.
We sent some cunt to get us this diamond car. We're all in a van. Oh, well, listen, yeah. I didn't have a belly, did I? So they made me take my pants off. I had my pants on my head, mate.
Fucking hell.
And this cunt come back from this tool hire shop with an extra XXL chainsaw. I mean, what do you think we're going to do with that? And that's for the... I mean, I said, "Go and get me one of them bins."
Right.
I've got one of these plastic fucking bins in... I'm not going to say where we've done it.
Right.
And I'm like, "Watch this." It's just bouncing off it. I went, "That's not going through a lockbox." So we had to replan it. I'm not going to say anything else about that day, but something went down and it weren't very good, mate. Right. Yeah, but it's just muggy. But fucking hell, no reconnaissance, no logistics. Yeah,
right.
Bad.
But I love the parrot heist. That is funny. That is funny.
That,
but you didn't actually steal any parrots?
I didn't, mate. I didn't. You can't put them in the back, especially with Bobby, mate. We'd have ended up letting him out of the car. We'd have ended up staying at David Bellamy's and grassing us all up. Not that you're grass, Bob. But yeah. But
he'd be like that. He'd have no fingers. He'd be going, "Oh, the parrots."
See, my sister's got. Like, I've got arachnophobia. What's the one when you're scared of birds?
Do you know what? I don't know, but I know the one you mean.
See, like, I've got a little bit of that, I think. My sister's got that badly. Right. She can't walk past a fucking pigeon, mate. She has, like, bad panic attacks and seizures and things like that. But I'm like that with spiders. That's one of the only things I'm scared of. I'm only scared of 3 things. My ticker, spiders and heights.
Right, yeah, heights aren't great.
Like, I get loads of feedback there now, just from the life I've led.
Right.
But, like, since I've had this fight, we'll talk about that in a minute, I started training back how I used to when I was professional. Like when I was MMA professional. And that's lifted my mood. I've been through 2 years of absolute fucking murderous depression since my mum died, Tel.
Right.
It was bad because I spent a lot of time in Thailand and I didn't spend enough time with her when she was ill.
Right.
So I come back, she had an aneurysm. It was going to pop and I was so selfish. I wanted to stay in Thailand. So I did come back in the end. And... I caught COVID and I give it to my mum and she died from it.
Fucking hell.
I'm carrying a bit of guilt around from that. But since she died, I've literally, it's the first time I've had an haircut and got myself looking nice, too.
Right.
When did I get this fight, Rich? Yeah, when did they give me it? So that was the kickstart from Colin Wilby to come back. And then obviously this podcast, sort of a relaunch.
Right.
I used to be famous when I was an MMA fighter. I couldn't walk around Blue Water without people asking me for me autograph and that. And obviously my mum died and that's put me in bad agoraphobia. I was stuck at that fucking place in Essex doing bodyguarding for a whole year, sitting in a fucking car park looking at someone's front door. It just didn't do me mental health no good.
Right.
I needed to reintegrate myself socially. I was terrible. I had a boxing match in the Circus Tavern. And I was in the changing room. I didn't talk to no one. I had the fight, beat the geezer, walked out, and someone tried to talk to me, and I was like, it's like my social skills are fucking gone. I'd done the door a little while ago, and that way, I ain't a bit of me no more. But I just done it. I didn't do it for the money or to do the door work. I'd done it to work on my social skills, talking to people again, because I totally shut off till I was depressed for 2 years.
Well,
I've not been with a fucking girl since my mum died. I've not had a woman in my life since my mum died. Not been with a girl.
Right.
Not been interested. Total mourning.
When people see you on this podcast, I reckon you're going to be getting a few people hitting you up on Instagram, mate.
Yeah, hopefully. Not ones that want to kill me.
Right. Oh, is that a common trait then? You meet women that want to kill you? Because there are some crazy women around. If you get the wrong one.
Mate, you know, like equality.
Yeah.
It works in that way and all, doesn't it? Like, I had one bad situation. It was Christmas. I had this bird. I can't say who she is. She's quite close to me, but she's well connected. And we was having murders once, and she was so well connected. I took heed of her warning, and we was having such a bad argument. She said to me, "I'm going to have you murdered." So I thought, "Fuck this! I'm going to move out of my house."
That was your cue to exit,
mate.
Stage left.
She was dangerous, and it was Christmas Day, and she planned this. She put some knives on the kitchen counter, and she got an hammer out, got all the tools out. She called me into the kitchen. She showed me something on her phone, and she'd done it on purpose, flicked past a message where she's with a dude. Obviously, I've seen that. I've started straight away. She stabbed me once there, and then stabbed it in again, and then she panicked because she
There
realised...
wasn't a bunny in the pot at the time.
She was off her head, like, wow. But she'd done it once, done it twice, and when she'd done it the second time, I was seeing her eyes that she thought it was going to be easier to do this to me.
Right.
When she realised, so then she panicked, she started twisting it and I'm like, whoa, it snapped off in my shoulder. I've run into my living room, she's picked up the hammer. I've perched myself by my radiator and she's come running, flying in. And I'm like, oh, got her, and I bang. She's like, head on the radiator, boom, 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 on the floor, a little bit of blood. I'm like, I'm not going to prison for that. What am I going to do with her? So I went and sat on my bed, had a little think about it. Like 5 minutes later, I heard her waking up. I was like, oh, thank God. That's the one time I do really wish, thank God you're alive. You know what I mean? So I don't know what I would have done. You know, you always think if the worst case scenario, but when it actually happens, you go to shit. You know what I mean?
I think the thing is though, and anybody who's ever been in a abusive relationship or toxic relationship or a violent relationship, whether the guy's the instigator or the woman's the instigator, and a lot of people think it's guys, but there are women that have done some bad things.
I've buried at least, I want to say 10 of my friends, and that's just due to them hanging themselves. Going out to Epping Forest, hanging themselves. Another one of my pals hung himself. Get on in a motorbikes after a row with a bird, R6, bang, dead. At least 10. I've buried 10 of my mates.
Wow.
So I'm very, very dubious. I know that it's just like, no, I can't really spit it out what I want to say to her. But, you know what I mean? You've got to, I find that, I don't want to say every woman's the same,
right.
But like a certain sort of a person, I attract the toxic women. Every relationship I've been in has been very toxic.
Do you know, you could try, have you tried any dating apps?
Don't, please. They call me the Tinder swindler.
Right, no, but you don't want to be on there, right? But apparently there's two classy ones, right? There's one called Hinge and there's another one called Bumblebee. And the only reason I know about this is because my friend got divorced and he actually said to me, he said, Terry, he said, I don't even know how to talk to a woman, right? He goes, I've been married for like so long and I got my kids and blah, blah. And he said, when I used to date, he said, you go up to a girl and ask her to have a dance, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like just sending them a message on social media. So he said, I've joined these apps. And I was like, well, let us know how you get on sort of thing. And he said it changed his life. And he met some great women on there. He met some nutters on there as well. But but I think there's less nutters. If I'm to be led to believe that you're telling me the truth, there's less nutters on those two than there are Tinder.
I'm on 3.
Oh, so you're already there?
I'm on 3 of them.
Right, okay. Are you on Hinge or Bumblebee?
No, I'm not, but I've heard good things
Give
about Bumble.
them a go, mate. Not that I know, but it's worth trying.
I'm on Plenty of Fish. That might as well not exist. The shit they send through to my profile. They're not vetting the I swear to God. I'll get some awful... There's a bird called John with hairy armpits, mate. I'm like, what the f***? And
you didn't put that you like
bare
women...
trannies come through on mine and all for some reason.
But you didn't put a thing on there saying that you were looking for a woman with... Because don't you have to say what you're looking for?
No, I don't really fill in the
because if you tick hairy bird, they will send you the pictures with the girls with the hairy
I'm not very good
armpits.
at the technology side of it. I just put the best pictures of me I can find, Photoshop them 10 times, put them on there and see what comes through.
Right.
I'm a cage fighter, fucking blah, 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 blah. All about me.
Right,
I've done it wrong, really. They want to be a bit different, don't they? But yeah, every picture on my Tinder is me beating someone up. That's why I don't fucking work.
So I'm not a counsellor or an analyst, but I think that might be why you're attracting these crazy women, because they might think, I like a cage fighter.
One bird texts
She wants you to. They want you to rough them up. So, if you want to attract, I don't know what you're looking for, but if you wanted to have a nice woman that won't attack you with a knife or try and kill you, it might be worth putting some pictures of you in a suit, smiling, looking happy, saying you're looking for love, saying that you're looking for Mrs. Right.
I think that's too much of a fucking cliche.
Release
I'm looking for love.
Listen, mate, release your inner Hugh Grant. We've all got.
I ain't got one, mate. I'm really not. I'm very caustic. I've really such a lot of where I see my friends dying over women and that. It turns you caustic against the idea. Right. I mean, I'm not prepared to share any more of my fucking time with a bird. I need to be happy with me before I share me with another woman. Do you know?
You're not thinking of going the other way then?
What the girls?
No, with one of the fellas. You're not thinking of going to another.
I was in Thailand for 4 years, mate. I ain't never a man.
I'm joking. I'm fucking body leg.
Let's get that out there.
No, I just thought you might have been like, I've had enough of women. I'm moving on.
Do you know what I have? Listen, I'll literally boycott sex for the rest of my life just to prove a fucking point. I don't need you.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I'd say that to all my pals. And like, oh no, I need nothing.
But they do say when you're training that if you do have sex, women weaken legs. Is that not true?
No.
So that Rocky thing was a load of shit then. I thought it was real.
I watched the thing on Sports Science and they got a heavyweight boxer in this lab. And he ain't had sex for I don't know. They made him starve his balls for a fortnight.
Okay.
And they said, give it your best on your bag. And they had pressure sensors, a minute or so, whatever. They sent him away to an hotel with his wife. So next day, he come back, he outperformed himself.
Wow.
So that's on that Sports Science, if you can find it.
So Rocky was wrong, right? And women do not weaken legs. So
they do,
have plenty of sex.
No, mentally they do.
Right, okay.
You know, I've been in the Troxy before. I've had my baby's mum ringing me up. This is the last fight. That's it. You've got to be a dad now. I've gone out and lost the fight. I've come back to the changing room. She's on the phone still. Right, that's it now. And I'm like, no, obviously it's not. I've just lost the fucking fight. You can't say that to me now. Oh, yeah, women, mate. But being a fighter, you've got to have a certain woman around you.
Right.
Like, hell, mate. I used to have this bird and like, I would be training at Semtex in the morning. Semtex, that made me into a monster, that did. Semtex in the morning, pads and everything. Come away, go swimming, do weights and that down my gym. Go back to Semtex at night, rolling and everything. And that'd be at 10 o'clock, 10:30 when I'd get in. And this bird was a little bit of a nymph. So I'd get in at 10 o'clock. I'm 10 years older than this bird as well.
Right.
So I'd get in. I come in, just want to go upstairs. And she'd be at the top of the stairs with a pair of pom-poms, dressed like a fucking cheerleader, or covered in gold paint, dressed like
was she dancing? Give
mate,
that.
She'd do it.
Colin.
She wouldn't be happy with just having sex. She wanted to be fucked all around the house all night long. And I was at a place, I can't
I've got to say, Colin, any men watching this will probably be really sympathetic to that. So no, poor Colin.
People out there will know. People, men, obviously, there's only so much. It's all right when you're doing it, but too much, it's too much.
Too much of a good thing. Yeah, you're
too
right.
much of a good thing makes it. You want to do other things, then, don't you? Right. You've done that a lot, so I want to try something else. Right. I don't want to try that. I don't want to get to the point where I've got to try something else. You know what I mean? So,
I mean, when would you say you actually started? What got you into sort of MMA cage fighting? What was the
Lee Murray?
Right, Lee. I mean, he
beat fuck out of me outside the end.
I mean, he is a fucking, dangerous guy. I mean, I've never met him, but I know people that was
lovely,
friendly with him.
geezer.
But as a fighter, I mean, I remember when he had that fight
Anderson
outside.
Silva.
Outside the
China
thing
West.
in Mayfair, and he had 7 fucking fellas. He got stabbed, but he ironed them all out.
And I spoke to one of his pals, and he said he couldn't talk when he woke up, but he asked for a pen, and he just put Warrior on a bit of paper. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, me and all my boys were in Zen's one night. Him and a few of his boys were in Zen's that night. Outside, one thing led to another, and there was a lot of Dartford people knocked out, mate.
Right.
We got fucking smashed, fair play. And anyway, you should let him out and let him come home. He served his time. You know what I mean? Enough's enough. He's done fucking over. You know
How
what
long
I
has
mean?
he done? Is he 20 years?
15,
Wow.
yeah. But when he went away, Dartford turned into the fucking Wild West. People started taking the piss.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? He was like a little bit of he'd give a little bit of fucking law around the area, you know what I mean?
And for anybody who doesn't know, Lee May is...
Lee
Google him.
Murray.
Sorry, Lee Murray. So for anybody who doesn't know who Lee Murray is, Google him. But it was alleged, and I think he got found guilty for the Securitas.
I don't know anything about that.
It was one of Britain's biggest cash robberies. I think it was 60 million in cash. So they say. But that would make a fucking good movie. That would make a good movie.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
That'd be good.
Who would you play, Till?
Do you know what? I'm not
couldn't
good.
play Lee.
I know because I'm not good looking. I'm not good looking enough, and I haven't got any hair. Right? He needs a good looking kid with hair to play him. Right? But yeah. But I mean, I know a few of his friends, and
Mark Epstein.
Yeah, Mark Epstein, and a few of the other guys, and they all spoke so highly of him. They all went, "You got to meet Lee, he's fucking unbelievable,
This is what
great
it was.
fighter." But we never. It's weird. Like I've met loads of people over the years, but he was one of the guys that I might have met him, but I can't remember. But I never got connected to him for whatever reason.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, we had that little tear up. We got battered, like obviously, and I went back to Zen's the next week, and like I heard that they were looking for me, and I just went upstairs and I went, "Boys, obviously I'm in trouble. Like I'm here, but we're men. Men have fights. Like, we're boys. We've had a fight. I don't know." They shook my hand.
Right.
And then ever since then, Lee would always come up to me. He took the time out to get his thing out, show me his fight cards and that. He always give me a bit of time. So I've got a lot of respect for him.
Amazing.
He's a nice bloke.
But he was the reason you got into cage fighting.
Mate, he's fucking hell. I fucking looked him up and I was like, I want to be this guy. I want to be him. I want to do what he's doing.
I want to be like me, Murray.
Oh, mate. He pioneered MMA in the UK. Him, Dave O'Donnell, Andy Gear, they pioneered it into the UK. Dana White, I think, bought Cage Rage off of Dave, and he reopened it as fucking Ultimate Challenge up there.
What with Lee Murray? Just so people that are watching or listening to this podcast know, was he a cage fighter first? Because
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know much about Lee apart from he's a nice bloke. We had our altercation. He always give me a bit of time till. He's got a fundraiser on Facebook. Get him home. I'll put a bit of dough in that for him. I'll try and. He's a nice bloke and you don't deserve to still be in a fucking prison in Morocco. Right. Everyone's out now, isn't they, from that? He's the only one who's still...
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
But
I'm sure there'd be a movie about that at some point.
I hope so, because that'd be a good one. Yeah. Hopefully there'd be a film about me soon and all.
Yeah, well, listen, after this podcast, mate, anything's possible.
Hopefully, yeah.
So you started doing the... Well, did you train at his gym?
No. Okay, this is how it happened. All right. Selling pills... bouncing around clubs. Okay, the doorman first. I was selling pills. I can't get in trouble for saying that. I ain't got any now, so. But selling Jack and Jills and that. And I remember one night I was in Fat Sam's. Me and my pals had this locked down, this club at this time. And we're in Fat Sam's, and I've got up. The doorman always licking me arse. They always fucked up on my drugs. We didn't have the usual doorman in this night. Right. They weren't all fucked up on my drugs. But I went to the toilet. I come out of the toilet, I remember a glass smashed on the wall instantly as I come out of the toilet. I was like, what the fuck? I've looked over, my pal's sitting with my bird, and there's two boys leaning over, weighing them both in. So I've flown over there and fucking knocked them both out. They've knocked a bouncer out as well. There's a bouncer laying on the floor there. I've gone over there, knocked everyone out, and me and my bird's gone, me mate, like, fucking hell, blah, blah, blah. I've gone in there the next night, and I had a bag of Jills down there, and the governor was there, Bob Mays. Teflon Bob, he got shot doing a bank robbery in Maidstone a few years ago. He was an absolute monster. Lenny Mclean, basically, a younger Lenny Mclean.
Right.
He come in Fat Sam's. He grabbed me, took me in the box office, headbutted me, put his hands down my fucking pants, ripped out my pills. Lovely. Right, 2 choices. I went, what? And he says, 1, I'll give these to the old Bill when you fuck off to prison. He said, 2, you come and work for me. So that's a fucking work for you then, isn't it? So that's how that happened. That's me, how I become a doorman.
Right.
Now, from being a doorman, I've worked all fucking sorts of places. Zen's, Fat Sam's. Fat Sam's in Sittingbourne. That was classed as the worst club in the UK. I see some fucking... Bob, actually, he's dead now, but there was someone kicking off in there, and it was horrible. He got them, he put them up against his fence, pulled the barbed wire down, wrapped it around their head, and used them as a fucking punch bag. I thought the was dead.
Wow.
And he used to have boxing gloves in the boot of his car. If his doorman was playing up, he'd make you have a fight with him.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, this was back in the day when...
There wasn't 20 years, 25 years ago.
There weren't CCTV then.
There weren't SIA badges and shit.
Yeah, if you
the police used to like us in Sittingbourne. We used to deal with their shit for them, mate.
But the thing is, a lot of the people that were on the door back in the day wouldn't get the SIA badge.
No, definitely not, mate. Teflon Bob, you know, God rest his soul. He was a naughty kid. And I was working with a geezer. I can't mention him. Let's call him S. Albino. Really, he didn't like me at all. But I started working for him and we grew on each other.
Right.
And he had cancer and he only had a little while to live. And I think he locked himself in a bedsit with a massive amount of cocaine, sniffed it, come out, the cancer was gone. So now he's God Squad.
Wow. I mean, I don't know if cocaine does cancer.
Mate, I know it sounds funny, but like...
But I mean, fucking hell. I mean, that's crazy.
I mean, yeah, he thought he was dying. Well, he was dying, and he's gone and locked himself away and like sniff. Why not dead yet? I mean, when I talk about a load of cocaine, I mean like a big fucking lot of cocaine.
A Tony Montana portion.
Just enough to kill you.
At the end of the film, when he's sat at that desk and he's got it all
mate,
over.
just like that. But like, yeah, and like he come out and the cancer was in remission.
Right.
So he's now God Squad. I haven't seen you in years either. You know I'm talking to you. Yeah, but then working them doors, then I started bumping into, let's call him A and L. Right. They said, A was trying to get some money off, he's a gypsy, he's trying to get some money off of someone one night. And me and my big mate G, we're walking around to the railway pub and he's got this kid and he's trying his hardest to knock him out and batter him. He was hurting him. He went, Cole, and I just walked over, bang, hit him. And everything got sorted. He went, Cole, do you want to have a fight for me? And I was like, what fight? Fighting what? Fight? What do you mean? What fight now? And he said, no, I've got to get, it was called Field Rage. It was the biggest bare knuckle thing. And I was the first person to fight on it. But before it was legal, I want to say...
I love that Field Rage. What a great name.
Because Cage Rage, then we thought we'd have Field Rage.
Right.
So I got Cage Rage tattooed there. So he said, do you want to fight someone for money, 500 quid? And I looked up at my big mate G and he was like, I was like, yeah, fuck it, go on, Al, I'll do that. So he said, meet me at the viaduct in Swanley. And this geezer, he thinks, I want you to fight him, Cole. He works at my auction, the car auction. And he thinks he's fucking hard, really hard. I was like, oh, is he hard? And he was like, no. I was like, I'll fight him then. So, mate, the poor cunt, I visited him in hospital. Right, they walked us to the top of this site. There's a gravel embankment. I remember there's a caravan at the bottom, half burnt down. They went, right. I was waiting for him. Nerves were kicking in. I didn't used to get that nervous, actually. I do these days. But anyway, he's turned up. Like a geezer with a bit of a long neck, a bit skinny. Didn't know what he was getting himself into. And one of the boys comes to me and he said, Cole, he's asked for his what costumes he's wearing. I was like, what do you think this is, a fucking wrestling match? And I said, what's the crack then? Right, you two, walk down there. When you get to the gravel pit, start fighting. I've looked at the geezer and we're walking down. I've took my top off. I was 16 stone at the time. He went, oh, I'm dead tonight. I went, you fucking are, mate. As soon as he hadn't even got a chance. As soon as I've heard my feet hit gravel, I've turned and hit him. He's gone down and I'm bang, 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 bang. All the travellers have run down. Cole, it's a fair play. You've got to let him get up. I didn't know that. He went to hospital. He had a ruptured spleen or whatever. And yeah, he was all right though. But that was my first one. Had my second one. Had my third one. And then I fought a geezer called Ricky. I'll send you.
Not Ricky from EastEnders. Ricky.
No, you would know this geezer. He's quite a naughty cunt.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, sorry, Ricky. I've got the wrong Ricky.
don't beat me
Right.
up. I'm not going to. But he got brought down to the site to beat me.
Right.
And because I was on 6 wins in a row at this time.
And they was all net knockouts?
All knockouts. I'll show you a couple of them after tell. I've got them actually on my thingy, screen recorder. And he got brought down to beat me. And I remember my mate was working at the bar bit. They had a fucking makeshift bar selling cans and that. My pal was there and he said, Cole, come here. He said, he was just standing there looking at you. And he said, it don't matter. He's just a little stocky geezer. I line him out. This geezer was a professional cage fighter at the time.
Wow.
Let's call him Ricky the Hawk for anonymity's sake. So we've had a fight and I've knocked him out so badly that he can't stand up. He's trying to. The referee is very famous, naughty referee. I won't mention his name because I don't want to die. But he's like, no, that's all over. And like, so I'm the man. I've won fucking, all the travellers saying, Colin is king of the field. And the next fight, I weren't king of the field. I fought a geezer called Chaz. And he started unloading on me and I thought I could block and roll, but you can't with bare knuckle, mate. They're coming in and when I lifted my head up, he took the top off my nose, blood went in my eyes and I was trying to call it, but he's still throwing shots, but we called it anyway. We had a cuddle. I remember we went back to the fucking, I felt devastated, mate. And we went back to the railway pub and my mates, well, yeah, Cole, I'll have a bit of that. And I'm sniffing it there and it's bubbling out the top there. And I'm like, I had to eat it. Eat the Charlie, mate. You know.
So for people that have never experienced bare knuckle, or I mean, most people watching this have probably had some sort of fight at some point in their lives, but actually having a bare knuckle fight, I mean, if you compare it to boxing, someone said to me the other day that it's only 1 or 2 shots, like, and you've done, right? And I mean, is that really the difference? It's like when you get hit, if you get in the right place, you're going. There's no sort of 12 rounds of fucking, you know,
your body
cake,
can,
you know
your head can take a little bit of punishment, but as soon as that money shot lands, there's not a lot you can do. And even if you do go down and come back up, you're not the same man again. You're fighting on a different frequency. When you get up from that first knockdown, you're fighting on a different frequency. You're not the same man.
I mean, because is it 3 rounds they do normally?
When I used to do it, it was 1 round. I'll show you the videos after tell, and you can put a few up on there.
Yeah.
You would either have just hands, 1 round, or you would have all in. And all in means all in. The one I'm going to send you after this is the all in one.
Yeah.
I used to like doing the all in. Sometimes I used to weigh him up. I think he looks like he's a cage fighter, so we'll have just boxing.
Right.
But it weren't like that. They used to flip a coin. What do you want? What do you want? Right, flip a coin. And I used to come out shit most of the time. For sake, you know what I mean? But
so how many fights did you have in total?
Okay, on the bare knuckle side, on the Button Street viaduct under there, I had 8. I won 6. George Gambed Masterville from UFC put one of my fights up there. I mean, this is one of the best fucking bare knuckle fights. Knockout Ned, some black geezer versus White Mike.
Right.
That's on YouTube, on Facebook now. Yeah, and yeah, Mike Gambit, that UFC fight.
Right.
It's one of the best bare knuckle fights I've ever seen.
And then you went from the bare knuckle into the cage fighting.
Okay, from the bare knuckle, I was doing the bare knuckle fighting. I was trying to literally live off my last fight's reputation. I was trying to string that out, but that was like, the only thing worse about being talked about is not being talked about. And I am a little bit egotistical. I like, do you know what I mean? I like being in the limelight. It's like this too. I get to the fight and I think, what the fuck am I doing? I could be at home playing on the PlayStation. Then I win the fight and I like all of that bit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, where was we now? I think.
About the cage fighting, yeah. What got you into that?
All right, okay. So like bare knuckle. And like, I was trying to like, the last fight of bare knuckle I had, like, I was trying to fucking live off that for too long, right? And then there's this pub in Crayford called the Bird in Hand. And my mate rang me up one day and said, Cole, he's having major problems up here. Do you want to move? We can move in here and look after it and we look after us. That pub lasted 1 month before it had to shut down. The geezer had it, his name was Ez. We drunk it dry. We fucked it up. We had all sorts of people coming in and out, if you know what I mean, at night, women of the night, money out the fucking till. He was in bad way. And I think he got done, I'm not going to say anymore, but yeah, that was that. And then I met my best friend and my boxing coach, Huey, and he was going up to Joe Pyle's house to see about his next fight. I've met Joe Pyle, and Joe Pyle said, can you fight? And Huey was like, his show. I think it was camera phones was first about, and he said, "That's his bare knuckle, him." And Joe's like, "All right, snap." I didn't know more about it, and then he said, "There's a poster." I was like, "Fucking hell, Caesar's in Streatham. Roy Shaw's going to be there. Oh my god." Do you know what I mean?
I think that was probably the first night we bumped into each other, because I always used to go to Caesar's in Streatham.
But me and you have seen each other there.
But without a doubt. But what probably happened was you was fighting. But I was always because it was always Joe, Pulse, senior and junior. It was always Tony Lambriano. Yeah. It was always Dave Courtney. I'm trying to think who else was there. Frankie Fraser was there. I mean, it was literally like
the great train robber.
Everybody, Bruce Reynolds, everyone. They was all there. Do you know what I mean?
Mate, and I loved that.
But it was a fucking moody venue, wasn't it? Like when you walked in there, it was like,
come on, mate. I won a fight by chucking someone on the floor, kicking them in the head. I got a fucking win, mate. When we say like, it was. I mean,
you call it a spit and sawdust gaff, when it was.
Really, they were good shows, but you couldn't go in there expecting a boxing match, because you probably wouldn't have a boxing match. You throw them on the floor, kick them in a head match, and like I can remember once Sven Hammer's opponent didn't turn up. Anyone in the crowd want to have a go? Two fellas tried, two fellas left on stretchers, mate. Right. But I bumped into a lot of naughty people there. I had 14 fights at Caesar's.
I reckon this was in. I reckon it was around 96, 97.
No.
When was it?
It was.
Was it 93?
I've got a picture on there.
It was in the 90s.
No. Mean Machine Promotion shut down.
Because Ian Freeman, yeah, Mean Machine Promotion, that was him, right?
Mean Machine, you're talking about the cage fighter, Mean Machine, Ian Freeman. Yeah. Mean Machine Streatham was Joe Pole's boxing promotion.
Right, okay. And, I was definitely there, but I thought it was in the 90s.
If you look at the date when Frank Bruno went for the night there, and you'll get a baseline, that's when I started fighting now. I think it stopped. I was 25, and I hadn't started fighting for them yet. So I'd fought in fights for Joe anyway. You've seen the ones with me and Roy, and I had the belt. I got the London title, the Joe Pole London title. I got the English heavyweight title. That was easy. Fucking hell. Right. And I got the, pardon me. And I got the British heavyweight title. All pictures with Roy and that. That was a fucking honour, mate. You know what I mean? That's when I really started to believe.
Well, him and Lenny, they were the boys in the bare knuckle, weren't they?
Come on, mate.
Them fellas.
Like, them fights, like people people want to remember them a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? That's like the British culture of underground naughtiness. That's them boys, mate. They set the benchmark. And like you get a lot of young boys now and they think they're the bollocks, but there's still some fucking naughty people skating around under the ice, and it's thin ice. They fall through it any fucking minute. Right. You know what I mean? But you always have respect for the people that have been there. Oh, yeah, I've always got respect, I'm always respectful.
I always remember when I first met Mad Frankie Fraser, and I always fucking thought he'd be bigger because he was so small, wasn't he? But I mean, obviously, he was fucking dangerous. Like, stepdad didn't like. He would stick a screwdriver in your eye, wouldn't he? Just for laugh.
My stepdad weren't too fond of him. Yeah, my stepdad was Charlie the Hat. He was a naughty boy from around them ends. Him and my dad used to do a lot of business. I've actually got a picture on my phone of them sitting in my dad's Italian restaurant in the 60s, big fucking sunglasses on, looking like proper dodgy. And I'm like, I guarantee you, Charlie's selling my dad some diamonds he nicked from some poor Jewish house in fucking Atting. You know what I mean? He used to give my dad a lot of... Yeah, so my dad moved us away from that. But anyway, back to the fighting. Cage fighting, no, bare knuckle boxing. Well, fighting for Joe Pole. Yeah. So I've got all the titles for Joe. I met a lot of people in Caesars. I put myself in a couple of bad situations. Do you want to know about that?
Yeah.
All right. So in Caesars, I'm bouncing around. I've been fighting in there for probably this is my 7th or 8th. For 14 times I fought there, and 13 times I won in the first round. So I met some dodgy people, and I'll give my number out.
What, in Caesars?
Not in Caesars, mate. Where nothing ever happened in Caesars. Fucking hell.
It's what happened afterwards, yeah.
Jesus Christ, mate. You could walk in the toilet if you wanted a line of Coke and just do that with a residue, and bosh, you'd have if you didn't have no Coke, you still got Coke.
Right.
I'm sober for 3 years, by the way, too. I'm not.
Well done.
I love it and all. I'll tell you what I do. There's nothing better in it. But yeah, Caesars. I'll tell you a funny story in Caesars. I like Most Haunted and all that.
Yeah.
when Fred was selling Caesars, it was my last fight there. I knew it was the last fight. And I was fucking in the changing room thinking, I've got to have something out of here. And I looked on the floor and there's a big fucking Caesar's head with the crest around it. So I've got my penknife out and I'm on the floor trying to cut this fucking Fred's come in. What are you doing? You know what I'm doing, Fred. And he said, you can't do that, mate. And then like, fucking sitting there with the ump, I'm sitting in the changing room and like fucking, I swear Yvette Fielding just walked past off Most Haunted. Fucking dread. I looked up again, her husband Cole from Most Haunted walked past. I'm like, hang about. So I've got up, I've walked down. I'm like, Yvette Fielding's looked back and went, yes. I'm like, what are you doing here? He said, this is haunted. Like, fucking hell, it should be. The amount of people I've fucking killed in that ring. Yeah, they was there that night and they watched me fight, which was a bit of an honour, even though Most Haunted is so fucking fake and shit.
Right.
Jesus Christ. Oh, there's a poltergeist. I do like all that hotel.
Right.
I really do. I want to believe. I went to church every day after my mum died, lighting a candle. And what changed everything, I'm a believer in, like, if I, this is what's f***ing me up. I'm always the believer that I'm going to see my mum and dad again. And then I was working in this bodyguarding job and I hold on to that I'm going to see my mum and dad again, and my dog and everything. And I was working with this Polish geezer, this bodyguard. And we was talking about a past friend that ain't here no more. I put a coffee on the side and it moved all the way along the side of the kitchen side. I went, oh, jumped back. And he didn't see it. And he turned around and, what's the fucking matter with you cunt? And I'm looking at it, thinking, please move again so you don't think I'm mad. And then it's gone, oh, the other way, straight offside. He didn't talk for me for the rest of the day. He had the ump. He had the ump that he see that because he didn't believe in nothing like that.
Right.
He had the ump and he's talking to his missus. His chair keeps saying I'm farting, so it's not. So he's talking to his missus all day.
We're going to put the farts in later on.
Add more. Add more. So he's talking to his wife all day and I'm like, fucking hell. And then he's come up to me and he's like, Colin, I think I know. Oh, you've sorted it out in your head now, mate. Go on, let me have it then. He said, I think we experienced a positive experience together.
Right.
And I wanted to ask him what I wanted to. So you do think that when we die, that we're all going to see each other again? He went, no, I don't think that. But I do think we just had a positive. And I'm thinking, that's neither here nor there. Now, ever since then, that's mentally snapped my fucking connection with the church. Like my priest, Father Pat, I love him, mate. But I ain't been able to go there since. He told me that. And that's resonated so much that like this actually believes that there's nothing after this. And I can't accept that.
Who says that?
That Andre. You see the can move. There's afterlife. That never happened on its own.
Look, there is 1,000,000% an afterlife, 1,000,000%.
No, but is it, are we going to see everyone or is it we dead? Or are we an energy that's going to move on? It fucks me head up thinking about it.
We are going to see. I mean, literally, and you know, people will probably think I'm mad saying this, right? But I met a guy who was an Irish fella, and he had a spiritual awakening when he was in his like mid-40s. But basically, because he was a brickie, he was out on the building sites. He fucking had arthritis. He was all fucked up. He couldn't work. And he was sat in his house one day, and he started seeing things and hearing things, and he thought he was going fucking mad. So he went to the doctor and said, "Look, I haven't been working. I've quit with arthritis. I'm hearing and seeing things. You know, what do you suggest? You're obviously fucking depressed. You've obviously got some mental health problems." So he started giving him all these like fucking drugs to take to, you know, stop him and all the rest of it. And he went to see a shrink, but it didn't go away. And he was like, you know, I am fucking going mad, right? And he was talking to somebody at the shop. And this is how the universe works, right? So he was in the shop just chatting to this fella. And the fella's like, "Oh, how you doing?" Blah, blah, blah. And he went, "I fucking hearing voices, seeing things." He goes, "I'm taking all these drugs." He goes, I think I'm fucking lost the plot. I think I need to go to a mental hospital.
Yeah.
And he went, "Mate," he said, you might be having a spiritual awakening. And he said, "Well, what do you mean?" And he wasn't a religious man, right?
Yeah.
So he was like, "It all sounds like a load of bollocks." And the guy goes, "Listen," he said, "go to a spiritual church, right? There's one up the road, and just walk in there and tell them and see what happens." So he's gone in this fucking place. He's done his thing. And people are standing up and just talking.
Yeah.
And then he had the urge to talk. And he said, I stood up, I talked, I didn't know what I was saying, and I sat down. And then afterwards, they all sit around and have a cup of tea and a bit of cake, right? And then this woman come over to him And she says, you was talking about my husband, right? Who's just passed, right? And he was going, well, I don't know what I'm saying. And then he heard a voice and he goes, can I tell you what I'm hearing? And she went, yeah. And he had a conversation with her from through her dead husband, right?
Fucking hell.
And he then was told by this person who ran the spiritual church, he says, you've been given a gift, right? Proof of survival, right? So he said, well, I don't want to make money out of this. I just want to help people, right? And that was his thing. He never charged anyone. And he said to me, like, because I met him for a mutual friend, and he said to me, he said, Terry, he said, any of these people that fucking charge you money to read your palm or fucking predict your future or look in crystal balls or speak to spirit, he said, they're not using their gifts. They're not giving the gifts to make money. They're giving the gifts to help people. So his thing was never to take money, just to help people. And he did it all. And I worked with him for a few years. He's still around now, but he's in a bad way because he's like nearly 80 now. Right. But he actually said to me what he did and how he's done. And I've seen things. So I know that what he was saying was real. I know it's not just bullshit. And one of the things that was profound for me was when I lost my dad. I never told him because I didn't really talk to my dad. So he never met my dad, didn't even know anything. We never spoke about him. So I literally sat down with him. We were talking and he said, we need to light a candle. There's someone who wants to speak to you. And I was like, right. And he actually fucking had a conversation with me as my dad. But obviously, as he spoke, like we're speaking now.
Well, can you tell that it was your dad?
Well, if there's things that only me and you know, right, and all of a sudden, some fucking random bloke sitting there and he starts going, your dad's here, he's got something to say to you. And then he looks at you in the eye and says, Terry, do you remember this? Terry, do you remember that? I'm sorry for this, I'm sorry for that. And he literally went like that. And I'm sat there and I just fucking went because I was like, but I was also grateful. And I said to him, I said, that gift you've been given is fucking unbelievable because there's a lot of people that don't believe in it. Yeah. Right. There's a lot of people that believe in a certain type of religion. But he said to me, he said, look, he said, there is one God. And he said, it doesn't matter if you're Christian, Catholic, Muslim, Sikh. He said, it doesn't matter what religion you follow. There's just one fucking God. Yeah. Right. So he said, obviously everybody sort of fights over my religion's better than yours, my God's better than yours. But he said, look, he said, you don't have to go to church on a Sunday, right? To get a pat on the back. Yeah. He said, if you want to, that's fine. But he said, you should pray regularly. And he said, you have to acknowledge that there is a supreme being, which is God, right? Yeah. And believe. And that's it. And he actually said to me, he said, anytime, if you've lost any, and it sounds mad, right? If you've lost a child, a dog, a cat, a goldfish, your mum, your dad, your sister, your wife, whatever, right? He said, if you actually just have a quiet moment and think what you want to say to them, you can communicate that way. And I know it sounds mad and people that go, oh, what a load of bollocks, but it works.
I'm always talking to my dad and my mum.
But you should. But even if you can't hear anything back, so I believe 1,000,000% that when you die, you don't just get burnt or put in a fucking hole, you go on to something else and your spirit lives on. I believe that 1,000,000%. But so hopefully that's helped you, Colin, to realise.
I had El's Angel and he didn't charge when my dad died. I was looking for validation and he come round, he got a couple of bits right, he got a few bits wrong though. Right. So I'm neither here nor there. I'd love a bit of validation.
But you know something? That cup moving, that was validation.
Yeah.
That was validation.
But I was talking about someone else at the time. We weren't talking about,
But I
would love that validation.
But you know that, seeing that move, right, when you were talking about that person, that was them saying to you, I mean, this will make you laugh, Colin, right? This guy said to me, he said, when you, first time I sat with him, he said, you're going to go somewhere and there's going to be a sign, right? And he was talking, he believes that everybody that walks the earth has got guides, right? So, sometimes you get a gut feeling or you get an intuition. He says that is the guides basically telling you this is good, this is bad. And sometimes we have a sixth sense. That's the guide sometimes putting things in your head. And what he said to me that was profound was he said one of the guides that was working with me at that time was called White Arrow, right? Which is a Red Indian guide, right? So I was like, okay, great, blah, blah, blah. I just took it on board, right? And he said, he's going to show you a sign to prove that he's real, right? And I was like, okay. And I swear to you, on my fucking family's lives, I fucking had to drive to the paper shop, right, to get the paper every morning because we didn't have a paper boy to deliver the papers. And I've driven up to the shop. I've parked outside the shop and I've opened the door and there's a wooden fence, fucking white arrow, in chalk on the fence. And I looked at it and I laughed, right? And I went, what are the fucking odds that 3 days ago that guy said that?
Yeah.
I go to the paper shop every fucking day and on that day, the thing, and somebody's drawn a white fucking arrow.
Mate,
on
I'd
the
have hung
fence.
around there. I'd have stayed there till the next one. Until I got the next one.
But I took a picture.
Yeah.
And when I see him, I said, look, how fucking mad is that?
See, I'd love
and
that to happen, mate.
But the thing is, sometimes, like with your mum, you know, I never met your mum and I didn't know what your relationship with your mum, but it sounds to me like you were close. And obviously you going away training camp in Thailand and catching COVID. I mean, look, the problem with COVID is, right, lots of people, when it's all bollocks, it doesn't exist, fucking definitely did exist because I know loads of people who got it, right? And it was just, if you had underlying health issues and you got that, you were going to fucking go, right? And it wouldn't matter whether you'd had the jab, whether you'd have fucking given it to her, she'd have got that somewhere.
Did you get the vaccination?
I've had them all, mate, yeah.
Damn.
No, I'm joking.
I was never had that. You ain't had them, have you?
No, I tell you what I did. In the beginning, I did it, right, because obviously I had to travel for work, right?
Yeah.
And people in the beginning, it was like, if you haven't had the jab, you ain't working. When you made a film, you had to be COVID tested, you know. So, and there were some countries that mandated it. So if you lived in Dubai, you can't say I'm not having it. It's like, have it or fuck off, you know.
In Thailand, it took me, the last time I went back there, I was in and out of Thailand for 4 years. I had a house there and that. I had a motorbike over there, a girlfriend and that. And the last time I went there, bad. Do you know when I hit quarantine? 2021? Yeah. Quarantine 16 days, and I thought, right, this is a time to clean myself up. So all my Valium went down the toilet. In quarantine. Kept my Zoplacones, because you can't get them in Thailand.
What are they?
I used to love them, sleeping tablets. They're 7.5 milligrams. I'd take 4 of them. Used to. I've been off them now for about 2 months, and I feel great. They do fucking slow you down. So it got to Thailand, up to me, Sarong Road, massive fucking hotel, and the 7th floor was the hospital wing, hospital floor, where all the COVID people, quarantine people stayed.
Yeah.
So as soon as I got up there, pop, all of my Valium down the toilet, all the fucking Valium. Don't forget, I smoke a joint every night as well. No joints, because there is when I get into Koh Samui, I can get it. Man, I don't fuck myself up for going back to Thailand here. I've got to be careful.
Right.
So yeah, I get it. But in Koh Samui, Bangkok, I didn't realise anyone in Bangkok. So I'm in Sarong Road, the quarantine, popped all my Valium down the toilet, think, all right, this is it. Detox, new man. 5 days later, I've got the nurse on WhatsApp. Bring me some fucking Valium up here, please. He went, oh no, Mr. Willby, we don't like giving Valium out in Thailand. I went, well, I can buy them in the chemist across the road. They do so. The good thing about it, the bad thing for me is you can buy anything you want out of the chemist.
Right.
I was addicted to fucking tramadol, fucking, what's the other one? That with fucking morphine in it.
Codeine?
Oh, codeine.
Right.
I could just go, that was breakfast for me in Thailand.
Wow.
But anyway.
Codeine on the rocks.
Codeine on the rocks. Codeine and an M150 fucking energy drink into the Thai boxing camp at 6 o'clock in the morning, 2 hours training, then another 2 hours of training at 5 o'clock.
Wow. What's it like in Thailand? Because like everyone told me, like if you want to learn a fucking fight, I mean, you know, that is the place.
Well, I had a few fights in Thailand. I had a fight in Cambodia. Thailand is, the contrast in Thailand to England is, this is the way I looked at it, through like the COVID as well. When COVID hit Thailand, I was there and I never had to re-stamp my visa. Right. They locked it down, all tourists can stay. So like that was good. I got a year out of that without having to fucking stamp my visa and anything. Yeah. The thing is with Thailand is when COVID happened and the tourism stopped, the smiles stopped. They stopped. You can tell that people were.
They relied on that to fucking eat, right?
They fucking did tell. And like when I was in, let's talk about quarantine again. I was in quarantine for 16 days. Okay, popped all my Valium down the toilet. 4 days later, I'm ringing up the nurse. Please help me out. I took a picture of the packet. I was on them. I put them all down the toilet. Why'd you do that? I said, I'm trying to detox. No, you can't just stop taking them. I said, no, that now, don't I? She said, I'm going to send a doctor up. I walked to the door and I shook his hand. He just got out of the shower. I went, no, mate, this is me. I need my Valium, mate. He went, well, I'm just going to... I was leaving fucking footprints. Looked like a ghost walked through out the shower.
Right.
And that was just a sweat where I was anxious.
Wow.
And he says, okay, I'm gonna give you some. So it's 5 milligrams, I'll give you one strip. I was like, He said, right, they'll send them round for about 10 o'clock. I'm looking at my watch, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm 10 o'clock at night and I'm like, fucking hell. So I'm sitting there all day. Right. And I remember I looked in the mirror a couple of times, my pupils were so big, I'm like, I might get them and fucking send me home. Right. I'm not well. And the nurse come up at 10 o'clock and she said, there you go. I went, sweet, went straight into the bathroom. You only give me one strip. So I've got to be careful with these. So I took one and I busted another one in half, put it under my tongue. And I stood in the bathroom, just looking at myself in the mirror. And when they hit, my eyes just closed up, mate. You see the pupils go back to normal. I was like, oh, I do need these tablets.
Right.
But yeah, that noise is getting on my nerves.
Right.
But out of quarantine, they let me out. It was a 16-day quarantine. But they let me out in 10 days because the government changed the rules in Thailand. Right. So I was allowed to walk around Bangkok for 5 or 6 days. That was all right.
Right.
Sarong Road. But my governor who runs the Muay Thai, he said, go down this road here, Cole, you'll like it down there. I'm not homophobic, right? I've got a few gay mates. So I'm walking down this road.
I'm glad you brought him with you today.
No, Rich, he's a white old Rich. He's a good fella, mate, he's a good friend of mine. Anyway, so he's given me this postcode of a street, or he's pinned a street on Sarong Road. Don't forget it's still in lockdown and quarantine.
Right.
But like,
was it a different place then? Was it like a ghost town, or was there still?
No, Bangkok. So on Sarong Road in Bangkok.
I've never been, but
there was still activity, but the nightlife was none. That was the stipulation. It was a 10 o'clock curfew. So I nearly got nicked because of that. I'll tell you that. So I've gone down this alleyway in Sarong Road, and I can just look at these signs, loads of rainbow flags, and loads of people opening shutters. Hello, big dick sucky so. Like, they're men's voices. I've looked up, there's a big sign, Hot Mail. Oh, this is a gay district, he sent me to the gay 6th Street. I've got a pair of white UFC shorts on, mate, and like I'm amongst a lot of people that want to fuck me too. I've had to leave them, I've had to leave that.
I hope you thanked him for doing that prank on you.
No, I didn't. Because another
It's the sort of thing I do though, because it is funny. Like,
as soon as quarantine lifted,
if you've got someone who doesn't know the area, you go, oh yeah, go down there, you'll love it.
Ralph, that was, mate, you sent me down I didn't want to go down there. And he went, right, go, like, honestly, so, like, I thought, I was so nervous.
Do you know what, I reckon that where you was moaning about women so much, he thought, you know what, go down that road.
Jesus. It was bad. But yeah, on my walks up and down Sarong Road, at night time I was disgusted with the amount of children sleeping in doorways, little feet poking out from rubbish bags with dirty feet, and it done me head in tail.
That's terrible.
So the very next night, even though it was a 10 o'clock curfew, I went and bought 24 bottles of water, litres of water.
Right.
As many fucking sandwiches I could fit in a bag like that. I can remember I was watching King of the Streets in my hotel room, getting myself done up like a fucking ninja, but for a mission I've never been on, to feed the fucking poor, mate, because I couldn't. If I can do this, then everyone else can do it. And that will it won't even make a difference, but at least it shows.
Do you know something? If more people took a leaf out of your book on that front, well, you could end a lot of suffering and poverty.
I was that affected by that poverty that I didn't want to fight. I wanted to go home, get a team of people and come back and fucking feed some fucking kids.
Amazing.
I can't see babies with their fucking feet cut to pieces. And there's rats running around. I mean, big fucking rats jumping out in front of me. So I've gone out, I've got these 24 litres of water. So I've got one on my shoulder, I've got one there, and I'm fucking half dragging and kicking one. And there's cameras up and down Sarong Road, and there's a police substation there, so they can see me. I'm breaking my curfew, I'm walking up and down this road, giving the food out. Before I know it, I'm lost. And I've walked into this building site bit, and I've walked through this fucking wet concrete, and it's come up to there, and I'm sweating. The temperature is so wet and humid. I'm walking around, now I'm lost. I'm in an alleyway and I can see some dodgy fucking people, mate. And I'm thinking, oh, they said, if you feel white, you go around Lumpini I think it was Lumpini province, Ralph said I ended up at.
Right.
And he said, you don't want to be there. You don't want to be there on your own at night. And it's curfew. So I ended up thinking, I didn't have any food left. I'll give it all out. And then I see a motorway, a camera on the motor. There's a camera underneath like a motorway bridge. It's following me. I was trying to find my fucking way back to the wrong road. I just dropped my bags and went, help. 2 seconds later, a policeman pulled up on a moped and he went, we need to talk to you at station. He said, you broke your curfew. And they took me back to the station. They went, just go to the Sarong Hotel, was directly opposite their substation. I come down in the morning, and the hotel staff like, naughty. Said, you're lucky you didn't get sent home. He said, it's only because they see you, what you was doing, like taking food and giving it up down. Do you know what I mean? And the thing was, I wanted to keep that on the low hotel.
Right.
My bird in Thailand at the time, I sent her a couple of pictures. I didn't want to, because I don't like people that do that. The people that go out and feed homeless people on their little channel and play a sad song when they're sitting there. Fuck off, mate. Do that when you're not got the camera on.
Yeah.
Give them a $5 or something. You don't need to make it. I hate people who boost their profiles, Bob.
I'll be honest with you, right? There's people that do that are generous, right, and give. But I've done a lot of stuff for charity over the years, but I don't broadcast it because I think people it's a quiet. A lot of people, right? Like if you were mega wealthy, if you had £100 million, say, or £1 billion, and you decided every time you went to a charity ball, you spent 100, 200 grand helping the charity.
Yeah,
I don't think that is a bad thing because you're publicly saying, I'm rich.
Here's my money.
Right?
I want to help.
But if you're not in that ballpark and you're helping people, I've done stuff, where we've fed homeless people and we've done cancer stuff, children's charities, hospices where kids are dying. I mean, it's fucking heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when you see some of these, what I call themselves celebrities, going around going, oh, look at me. And they're kind of doing it because they want to try and get like some sort of MBE or CBE or something on the back. And for me, I've always just thought, if people find out that I do stuff, and I never talk about how much I raise, but I'm open that I do it, but I don't need a pat on the back for it.
No,
because I just do it from the heart.
It's a quiet dignity.
You just do it.
It's a quiet dignity. You don't need everyone.
And then you hear horror stories about people that do, they've got like a checklist. If I do this, if I do that, I'm a good person. I think you're either a good person or you ain't. Just doing something to tick some boxes.
I know this is going to sound corny. I'm sure it's out of a film. I've known good people who do bad things, and I've known bad people who do good things.
Yeah,
and I think that's very, very true.
That's absolutely.
I mean, I like to be consistent with the way I live my life, Tol. You're never going to see me happy, overjoyed. There's no point. Yeah. There's no point being an optimist. You're better off being a pessimist because you're never going to fucking be disappointed. There's a lot of disappointment out there, mate.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So I never like to get my hopes up over anything. Never rely on anyone either.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? There's enough people that you think they're in your circle, but they can't. All the people that come and watch me fight, most of them, I've got a few good followers, but when someone comes to watch you fight, they're not coming to watch you win. They're coming to watch you get fucking knocked out, mate. They want to be, you should have done this, you should have done that. They've been sitting in their armchair wishing they could do what you do all their fucking life.
Do you know what?
And they're jealous of you doing it.
If I watch anybody, if I'm friendly with anybody who's fighting, I always want them to win.
Yeah,
always.
I do.
But I want people in life to win. So if I met you down the road and you said to me, I've just sold my business or I've just done this amazing thing, I'd be happy for you.
Yeah.
And I'd be fucking great. And someone said to me, and this is actually a really good life lesson, they said, in your life, there's always someone better. There's always someone worse, right? But if you're happy with what you've got, you're grateful for what you could, and you wish others well, right? And obviously it's difficult to do that because there's so many cunts. I know we love that word, right, in the world. And there's so many fucking liars, there's so many cheats, there's so many fucking people that talk shit about people. And what I've done this year actually is I've started going like that. Just cut them out. Because like they say, life is short and time is limited. Right,
it's precious.
So you have to
here for a little while.
Exactly. So you've got to make sure you don't get distracted.
I want good people right around me in that little bit of time.
Absolutely.
But soon we won't be here and no one will remember us. So you've got to make it count.
Someone showed me this thing the other day that done me, right? It's around their house and there's a picture of a dog and the caption is, the older I get, the more I realise I only like my dog. And I saw that and I just thought, that's actually fucking true. Because the dog never fucks you about.
No, mate.
Right? It might piss on the floor occasionally, right? But or lick its ass and then lick your face, right? And you go, why are you doing that, right? But other than that, dogs are, and I don't have a cat, so I don't know. But most dogs, like, even if you mistreat a dog, it will still come and lick your face. It'll still come and sit with you. And I think dogs are the most loyal and the most decent.
My best mate was a dog too.
Well, there you go.
My Juke. And I'm kicking myself with guilt here and all. I went to Thailand, palmed him off with people. He was with me for 12 years and he fucking saved my life a couple of times. The way I got him, I just knocked someone out on the site, and I could hear the dogs cawing on the next field. And I said, I want to have a look at that. And they said, you don't look at that. And I said, let me have a look. And I think Juke had just won a fight.
Right.
And he's a Rhodesian Ridgeback cross a pit bull.
Right.
He had like a dinosaur fucking up his back.
I can imagine.
And his cage was smothered in blood. I think he had a couple of staples in him. I went, what the fuck sort of dog is that thing?
Right.
And he said, oh, he's a champion, boy. I said, can I buy him with what I just won 500 quid for knocking someone out? Can I buy him? And they, no, not for sale, he's not. The very next day, they come round my house. He was in the back of a van, shaking. And they went, mate, take this dog, grab at my little girl, I'll take it round the back and shoot it. We can't have it round the kids.
Right.
I'm like, it's a fighting dog.
Right.
It's in its blood, isn't it? But I got that dog, tamed it. An amazing animal. He had a personality. I tell you what, he had a really good personality.
Right.
My dad come to visit me once. My dad used to breed German Shepherds. We had one called Sergeant, and he said, Sergeant, and Juke looked at him like that, and my dad went, that is a fucking reincarnation of Sergeant.
Right.
Wow. You know what I mean? But yeah, he was a good dog, he was. Oh, yeah. The dog is loyal.
Yeah. And then obviously, you come back from, what was the reason for you to come back from Thailand? Was it just because you wanted to fight here, or had you had enough?
All right, okay. So in this country, before I went to Thailand, I was doing MMA on, do you know Dave O'Donnell?
Yeah.
Do you know him well?
Not really well, but I know him, yeah.
He's amazingly funny.
Yeah.
He can literally, if I was really rich, Chell, I would pay him to be my jester. 'Cause he can fucking...
He's a funny
guy.
yeah.
Listen,
he's a funny
so fucking
He's
funny.
He's funny.
He's so funny. Oh, he is so funny. But yeah, I can remember once he does his promotional videos in his office, Cage Rage office. I know he was out of the office one day, so I drove to his office and he had a little dweeb working in there. I went, right, get that camera on and sit in his chair. I had a skinhead at the time. I had my sunglasses on. I went, right, make a video from like Dave does it. And I was like, yeah, right here at the fucking Cage Rage UK. Dave watched it on it. He went, you can't get out of my office. Every time I used to go in his office, I used to be putting gloves in my pocket. He went, no, you can't have them. I said, well, I'm going to have them on my neck. I'm fighting on Saturday night. Wait till I give them to you. Taking things out of his jaw. I went, Cole, get out of my office.
Right.
Yeah, Dave's away. Yeah, weren't we on WhatsApp no more, Dave?
What's going on?
You fucking blocked me. I missed the Troxy. That was wicked. I had loads of fights at the Troxy. I lost because I come from bare knuckle to boxing. And then my mate Matt Lane said, you need to get in that cage. Yeah, fucking you need to do that. It's the next step. So I said, all right. So the doorman working at Zen's at the time opened up a fighting promotion called EFC. EFC, and the first fight was in Zen's. And I thought, I was just starting to train at Semtex at the time as well. Semtex in Swanley. Really, really good Muay Thai and MMA. I had Velma Netto training me, Steve Gladstone. They turned me into a fucking absolute machine. So, like, the thing was, when I started doing the cage fighting, people knew where I was coming from. They knew I was going to come in with my hands. So I got taken down, choked out 5 times in a row. Steve said to me, Cole, you can't fight under the banner no more, mate. I want you to do 4 months with Netto, training BJJ. No, 6 months with Netto before you can possibly get in the cage again. So I'd done 4 months with him, and I picked it up that quickly. They put me into a competition called Rolling Thunder in Canterbury. And I was in not the heaviest weight, but the one underneath that.
Well, like cruiser?
No, there's all different weights. There's the heavyweight, light heavyweight. I can't remember. I was in the heavier weight category.
Right.
And I won all 3 of my bouts. I didn't choke anyone out. I just stayed dominant. Just because my game is not any of that bullshit choking people out. Get on top of them and weigh them in. Obviously, you can't do that in a BJJ, no-gi competition. Right. So I just stayed dominant, thought I'd be hitting you there, move around them. I thought I'd be hitting you that side. So I just stayed dominant, thinking, where can I move to get a punch in the neck? So I'd done all 3 of mine. And then the heavyweight geezer, his competition never turned up. And I said, Cole, give him a roll. Just like, you know what I mean, as a thing at the end. And so I've done him as well. We had 3 5-minute rounds and I've done him all 3 of them. So yeah, they said, right, back in the cage. So I had mixed success at MMA. All good fights though. Okay.
And when you train, right, to be able to fight for 15 fucking minutes.
Mate, I've done a 25. I went to the championship rounds before at the Scala at King's Cross.
But what training do you do? Is it like a lot of road work?
Fucking hell,
Is it just fighting?
It's hard work, mate. Okay. So in MMA, you've got to put a little bit, boxing's you got to train your hands, you got to train your cardio, you got to train your conditioning, you got to train your weights if you want to look big, like I do. I think there's a lot to do in there with how you perform, how you look. So with MMA, my routine, daily routine, would be get up early, have a very short sprint. Lee Murray always said, only need to run 2K, but do it fucking fast.
Right.
So 2K run in the mornings, then I would go up for, let's say, Steve Semtex would take me on the pads, half hour just hands, then the other half hour all in, boxing, elbows, everything. And then I used to leave there, go home, probably hit the weights in my gym, go back up there at night time, and they'd Shark Tank me. And that would be me in the cage, and every minute a new fucking opponent comes in. Right. Oh, mate, you need a bin in there to be sicking.
Wow.
That's how hard it is. And like before I said, like, I'd do all that in a day. How old was I at the time? So 30, 35, 36.
Wow.
I'd do all that, and then I'd come home to that bird who wanted fucking knobbing all round the house. There's just no energy left, mate. And once, she'd get the ump. She'd cook me something. If I didn't eat, she'd get the ump. She cooked me a big spaghetti bolognese, pushed it towards me. I said, I've got to go MMA. I can't eat all that. And she went, you fucking will. So I've ate it all, and I'm feeling really gutty. And I knew I had a Shark Tank in. I said to the...
Yeah, what's it called? Food coma, you're like...
Mate, yeah, the I was on top of wore that spaghetti bolognese, and he weren't impressed. It literally cut. It was a lot and all. And I was
spaghetti chunder. Blah.
I was on top of him, and he had me in a whizzer. And I was trying to. I went, mate, let go of me. I've got to get out. No, keep working, keep working. I went, please, keep working. It was just all that. It was just lovely, jubbly. It was bad.
But he loved you.
No, he didn't like that. And I always used to be a because I always used to wear the tingle cream for the sunbeds. I love a sunbed, as you can tell.
Right.
So tingle cream, rolling with people, their faces on fire and gone all red, innit? Because the tingle cream's on them. Yeah. But yeah, they banned me from using tingle cream. So yeah, MMA, Semtex. Last fight was on Dave O'Donnell's show. I got, fuck me, what titles did I get? Okay, I got the the Ultimate Fighting Warriors light heavyweight title. The Cage Rage K1 world title, not Ben Snyder. Sorry, Ben. I fought Ben Snyder and won on that. But I just come back from Thailand and had the K1 fight, standing up.
That was fucking brutal. I see one of them in Vegas. That was like, that is proper.
I've got them all on there till I send them to you. So MMA. I fought Adrian Preda from Romania. Yeah. And he fucking, you can see that? That bicep is up that ends up in my fucking armpit sometimes, tell. Look at that. So he got me in an arm bar, and I just refused to tap. I thought, I ain't tapping for the title. So I didn't tap, so that's tap, snap, or nap. So I decided to take the snap.
So we actually snapped your fucking bicep?
That just shot up there. But it went...
Did they reattach it, or...?
Nah, because the thing was, what I lost, took it gracefully and all. I was in training. I went straight back to training, and it didn't look that fucking bad at the time. And I was training this Korean kid called Hong. And I said, just roll with the punches. I don't want any of my hooks to hit you. Just make sure you're just out the way of the hooks. And I looked over there, Camille said something to me, and I looked back and one's hit him on the shoulder. And I'm like, oh, and I just dropped on the floor. And I'm like, oh, and Camille's come over and, Colin, he's been under the coke, he's having a heart attack. I went, no, I'm not, you cunt me arm. And then by that time, my bicep's right up there.
Fucking hell.
So I went for a cold consultation. They said, listen, you going to carry on doing MMA? And I was like, I don't know. Like, what's the crack with that? I was 38. And they said, right, to reattach that, you've got a lot of muscle up there, so we're going to have to chop the out of that, pinch the thing, put it back down there, nail it. I went, no, I ain't. I said, the positive movement's all right. It's just the negative. So I thought, the MMA off. I've got titles and whatever. I've got a bit of British Cage Fighting Association, light heavyweight title and all. So I thought, off the wrestling and all that. So, because that is a bad impingement. There's no strength there, really.
Right.
So
if I have an arm wrestle with you, we do it with the left hand, yeah?
An arm wrestle. No, that is my left arm.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Is that the weak one?
Yeah.
Oh, what, we do the arm wrestle with that?
Yeah, but I'm left-handed. So, yeah. So there was a Semtex club trip to Thailand. Now, Thailand, when you go there the first time, you'll either eat you up and spit you out and leave you with a nasty taste in your mouth, or you come away with the most positive, brilliant experience of your life. The first time I went there was not a good experience. I didn't have a fight out there. I was training like all the brasses, all the fucking street life, mate, you know, I come back and I had psychosis on the plane, sitting right on the fucking near the wing, and that engine whirring away in my ear hole for 16 hours. By the time I got home, I forgot how to drive my car. I forgot how to get out of fucking bed. It was literally, I got white blank. And I thought that was a negative experience. So I thought, fuck that, I've always wanted to go there. I'm going to go back there again. So I went back there again, 2018. And my boss, Steve, he said, do you want to fight? I went, yeah, I'll have a fight, but I like bare knuckle, innit? So he said, do the bare knuckle super fight. I went, sweet, who's it against? Farley Kit, okay. Island champion, he's one of the bigger boys. Most ties are quite small, it was hard to match me up. So me and Farley Kit, they weighed us up, which was, they stand us both next to each other in the stadium, yeah, same size. We had the fight, I got a bit cocky, and my mate Munna, right, Mooney, he's from Malaysia. He bought in some proper washing line that was coated with plastic. He said he's going to use the soft wraps. He said, I want you to put this on. And it fucking, mate, it was like, I said, I can't eat that one with that. That's like a knuckle duster. Farley Kit come in, see what I was getting my hands wrapped around me, went, give me half of that for my hands. He said, he ain't cutting me up and I'm not cutting it if I can't cut him up. So I've had to unravel it all. We've snipped it in half both ones. So Farley Kit's put it, so we've both got this naughty plastic coated washing line on. I've knocked that down as hard. I can punch hard. I'm pretty well known for having a hard punch. Ryan Barrett from Gun Shields, when I was boxing for him, he said, this is the hardest hitting cruiserweight about, end of. So I've hit Farley Kit, bang. And you can see in the fucking video, he dropped down straight out of view. And the minute he fucking hit the floor, he popped straight back up again. I thought, that's a bit strange. So we carried on fighting. And I remember I'd done a back fist and it just missed him. And as I come back, I went hunting towards him like that. Thai boxing went out the window. I was back to street fighting. And he just caught me with a straight white. I went down, and usually my little man Joe, Sweaty Cup, Joe and Jack, and my corner man, they'd be fucking hitting the ring. Get up, you fucking, get up. And I looked over at him, and it was such a big punch. I was like, can you get up? I was like, no, I'm done, mate. That's me done. So I went into his changing room, give him a couple of 1,000 bar. He was happy with one. But it done me head in that much, I had to go back there in 2020 and knock him out. Right. So I come home, perfected my skill a little bit more, went back out there, said I want to fight him. I said, yeah, he wants to fight you and all, but he won't do the washing line fight again. Right. He said, you've got to wear MMA gloves. So it's a hybrid Thai boxing fight. So it was, he knocked me out in round one, so I really wanted to get it done in round one. Round two, that's when I knocked him out badly and all. I helped carry him out the ring. But yeah, got my own back on him, and then his trainer or one of his mates, his name was Lion, he wanted to fight me and all. So it was a few months later, fought Lion, and then that was on a Thursday night. Then on the Saturday, no, that was on Thursday night. Right. Friday, I'm fucking, my thumb smashed because it was bare knuckle, like MMA gloves, like in a Thai boxing fight. I'm trying to get the under the ribs, and I broke my thumb on his elbow. Right. It was that big. And there's this geezer, he was meant to be the witch doctor of fucking Lamai, and they called him Mr. Miyagi, and they called him over and have a look at Cole's thumb. Right. He grabbed it and started. I was like, there's about 2 pints of sweat come out from me. It was that fucking painful. I'm in my room at the gym and I'm thinking, fucking, Ralph's come out and said, remember you're fighting on Saturday night in Cambodia? I'm like, oh, I am, and I. So I've instantly, it's like 12 o'clock at night. I'm in my bed in the camp in my Muay Thai. So I thought, I've got to go and test this thumb out, mate. So I've gone out to the punch bag, wrapped it up a bit. I made a video actually for Facebook. I'm like, oh, it's working. I think I can do this. And I said, right, Ralph, what's it all about? And he said, just a little show, Town TV. Town TV, done a little bit of research. That's Cambodia's national TV station. Right. I said, what's the geezer all about in fighting? It's 80-something kilo. He's got an hard punch, but you can do it. You know what I mean? That's all he's got is an hard punch. I was like, is he? All right. So I've gone to Phnom Penh, Cambodia. We've got off the plane. We've met some fucking dodgy looking geezers with fucking gold teeth and really dodgy looking fuckers. We've got in their minibus. A couple of Americans are there. In Cambodia, it's not called Muay Thai, it's called Kung Khmer. And there's a long running feud between Cambodia and Thailand about who invented the elbow attack. Right. It's neither here nor there because it was all one province back in the day. It's classed as Siam, Cambodia, Burma, and all that. It was all, so that's where the elbow attacks are in now. So we've got to this, we're in this minibus, driving through this fucking Cambodia, such a contrast from Thailand. Thailand, especially where I was living, Lamai, beautiful. I said to my boss once, Ralph, can you get any antidepressants? He went, come out here, you. Look at that sun and that palm tree. That's your antidepressant, mate. Right. So we're in this minibus. We'll drive through the slums of Phnom Penh. We've got to the Town TV headquarters, and we walked in, and there's me and about 5 other fighters and a few Cambodian boys. I've walked into this studio, and there's a picture of me and this other nasty-looking Cambodian flying around the roof of this stadium. I've looked at Ralph and I've gone, am I main event, mate? And he went, you are. I'm like, for fuck's sake. The geezer I fought beat Bukau in 9 minutes. Oh no, that's the thing. In Cambodia, there's no minutes. It's 1 9-minute round and you've got to win by knockout, otherwise it's a draw. I think the geezer I fought knocked Bukau out in, I want to say 4 minutes. I lasted 8.5 minutes. And he kept catching me with a leg kick and it was buckling me up. And he went like that. He knew my leg was gone. I thought, so I was concentrating on checking the kick. So he took my other leg, and as I was going down, he threw a football kick, and it caught me in the eye. And the referee was really quick to stop it because he had a nice big fucking, I don't know how many $1,000 it was.
Right.
A few $1,000. In Thailand, it's baht. In Cambodia, it's dollars, or you get their Cambodian dollars. You don't want them, you want the American dollars. So I lost that one. Went straight from Cambodia, flew to the UK, had 60 or 30 days back in the UK, straight back out to Thailand, just about to fight Sin Sip out there. He's a fucking island champion. And COVID hit. So like that fight never happened. Ralph come up to me, he found me walking around the streets, and he went, the fight's off tonight. I was like, fucking hell. I was just actually getting my picture taken, there's a big picture of me above the motorway.
Right. And then you like fast forward, because you were there for a year, right?
Oh yeah. I was locked in there for a year.
And then when you decided to come back, what was that? 2021.
2021 is when I come back. I'll come back. I had a little recoup because the thing is, look at my thumb there, Tel. That's rot.
Right.
See, in Thailand, it's fucking, the moisture is everywhere and it's all day long, and it's contrast. I was fighting in Bulgaria. I had a wet t-shirt. I put it over my balcony. It's really hot. It dried in 2 minutes, bone dry. It's the same fucking temperature in Thailand. You put that same t-shirt over the balcony, that'll still be wet the next fucking day.
Right.
The humidity is, my hands are still recovering, the rot. But yeah, I had a house in Thailand.
Right.
My girlfriend sold it. Yeah, and my motorbike and my dog. But yeah.
I mean, that was a fucking shit year for you because you obviously had that. And then when you come back,
well, come back to England.
Did you get COVID on the plane? Or was
No. What happened was, I'll come back. Come back to England, went back out there, done all that quarantine bollocks.
Right.
Now we're caught up a little bit.
Yeah.
Went out to Lamai after the quarantine finished. Well, I finished quarantine 5 days early. They said, do you want to come over now? I was like, no, I'll have 5 days in Bangkok on my own, that's all right. So I went over there and back to Lamai, and they said to me, Colin, we've got you a fight on Muay Hardcore at Patong Stadium in Phuket, but you've got to have your injections. I'm not having it. Okay, I won't fight, I'll go home. So they ended up smuggling me across the fucking border from, we've got a ferry from Lamai to Seratani mainland, and then they drove us. And I think he knew one of the coppers, little Joe or Jack knew one of the coppers, done a little bit of a deal, got me into Phuket. Had the fight, lost the fight because I had plantar fasciitis. Whereas in the hotel room, all I could do was fucking skip. Right. Hundreds and hundreds of fucking rounds of skipping. My feet were like balloons. I couldn't stand on them. So it was the most painful thing ever. Them knowing that I had plantar fasciitis, I said, I probably won't win this fight. But they said, it's okay. As long as you prove heart, you can go back on the show. It's a big one, Muay Hardcore. So I've gone out there to Phuket, seen this geezer, Madicap, 25-year-old, born in the fucking ring, mate. He's so taller than me. So his elbow could be like the range of one of my punches. I knew I won't be kicking on that fight because the plantar fasciitis it was really bad. So I had to fight with him. He caught me behind the heel with an elbow. I went down, I couldn't recover, so the ref called it. And then after that I was saying to him, mate, you said that I could lose a fight and I could still come back on it. He said, yeah. Get on the running team on Monday morning. I was like, the fucking feet. I'm forgetting about my feet. So they said, right, just get this 8K done and we know that you're good. Just put your heart into it. I couldn't run past 4K till. It took me up towards Chawang. If you know Lamar, you'll know where Chawang is. Up towards Chawang, stopped about a quarter of the way to Chawang, then we had to fucking go all the way back to Bo Put. That's a big run, mate. And I think they was doing it, so I quit. But I had to quit when we got to Chawang, and I got a lift back on the scooter, and I knew in my head it was finished in Thailand. Right. Got home, my mum was like, she had an aneurysm as well, so she was pretty ill. I've got a house that I rent out, because when I was in Thailand, I thought it's just sitting there. I might as well rent it out and use that money out there. So I rented my house out. So I had to go and stay with someone. It was my nephew. He let me borrow his flat. He's a little but he let me borrow his flat. And it's so dirty in there. I thought, I got COVID whilst I was living there. And I moved back. And then it was all my niece, Lauren, she's a district nurse. And one night she said, should we do a lateral flow test? I was like, all right. Bang, I had it. Bang, my mum's got it. My auntie's got it. I'm like, fuck me. 2 weeks later, my mum's dead. Do you know what I mean? And that really fucked me up, Tell.
But you know something, Colin? Like when we spoke about it briefly earlier, I think you feel guilty for it.
Yeah.
But I don't think you should, because everybody I know that either had the vaccine, didn't go out, wore a mask, self-isolated, made the precautions, right? Everybody I know got it. The vaccinated, the unvaccinated, the people that isolated, the people that didn't go out, everybody got it over 2 years.
Yeah.
Right? And unfortunately, I think even if you hadn't given it to your mum, she'd have got it somewhere else, right? And if because of that underlying health issue, so I don't think you should blame yourself.
But the thing was, Till, it weren't just like when my dad died. He died in Gibraltar on his boat. I got a knock at the door at 3 o'clock in the morning. Both my sisters standing there. That was it. He was gone. That was the news. The thing with my mum, I watched her get ill. And I watched her suffer. Then I watched her die.
That's fucking.
I don't know why people are scared of dying, but they're not scared of pain.
Right.
It should be the other way around. Do you know what I mean?
I've got to say though, like watching a mother or a father die is the worst thing in the world. It's the worst.
I'll never be the same.
That's the worst thing.
I'll never ever be the same. Literally, like I said to you, I ain't been interested in life for 2 years. I've been sitting down some shithole in fucking Dunton, bodyguarding some no good. I didn't, you know what I mean? And like, I was just accepting it. And I used to look up at the stars. I used to pick one, the brightest one, and I used to talk to my mum through the star. And I was like, it just weren't conducive to my mental health. I was talking to myself a lot and all.
Right.
Like looking at myself in my rear view mirror, and I used to have like full-blown conversations with myself. I'd stop myself halfway through saying, you're mental.
Right.
But like, I was on a self-destruct thing, but I was totally sober because I wanted to honour my mum.
Yeah.
Didn't want, no, so I'm clean from everything apart from I have a joint. And fucking heaven forbid I should have a joint tonight. Life I've fucking had. I'm on medication. I have to have a little, I'm not on a massive amount of diazepam. I have to take 10 milligrams a day if I need to take it.
Right.
And an antidepressant just to lift my mood. And most of the blokes I know in the gym are fucking on sertraline or some sort of antidepressant.
Right.
You can't look at someone, he's on antidepressant, sort yourself out, fuck off. You better go through what I've been through, then you sort yourself out.
I think a lot of people, unless they've actually been touched by it, or they've gone through trauma, or they've gone through bad experiences, it's very difficult to understand. You can't, like you say, if you want to fucking see how I live, walk in my fucking shoes. You know what I mean? And then when you walk in my shoes, see how you get on. You know what I mean?
There was an influencer on, it really wound me up. I felt like trying to get hold of him and saying, I'll have a fight with you. He was in Dubai.
You know, Misfits are up for that. Yeah.
Mate, no, this would have wound you up. He's laying on a beach in Dubai, big man, fucking all that shit, silly bollocks. He's going, oh, you fucking people moaning about your mental health and look at this, Dubai. I'm thinking, I really want to kill you. I've only been listening to you for 5 seconds. And he's gone, no. I will find out who he is, actually. I'm going to offer him out. I'm going to offer you out, you fucking wrong. And he's saying, look, all of this, look, cars, and look, I'm in Dubai and you lot are suffering with your mental health. I'm thinking, how the fuck have you got any followers?
Yeah.
You
But do you know something? I think everybody, even people that aren't actually suffering, with depression. I think everybody's touched with mental health. Everybody has self-doubt. Everybody has a bad day when they wake up and they think, oh, fucking hell. Or something happens in it. And you know, look, if any bad experience happens to anybody, nobody, even people that live by the positive mental attitude and, you know, positivity, it still hits them. They still have to deal with it. And I've always found personally, you know, if you do get affected by mental health, or you do feel low, or you do feel like things ain't fucking right, you have to just stop yourself and say, I've got two choices right now, right? I can either think a positive thought and try not to dwell on negativity, or I can dwell on negativity. And all I find, if I ever dwell on negativity, or if I dwell on something bad, it just makes me unhappy. And it's like a fucking spiral when you keep going down.
That carries you through the day.
But
you're unhappy. Yeah.
But I think the problem, and people have always, I think it depends on what level you're at. So if you just feel a bit fucking low, right, or you've had a kick in the nuts, or something's gone wrong, or you've had some bad news, you can literally go, there's nothing I can actually do about this, right? So I've got to fucking take a deep breath and don't let it fuck up my day, right? And try and focus on something positive to try and get it out of your mind.
Change something for tomorrow.
But if you've had a fucking 50 of these fucking things and you're like on a downward spiral,
yeah.
If you do that, it's not just you're not gonna like just walk around and start skipping around singing.
No.
Right? So, and I do think if anybody's watching this, and there's a great company called BetterHelp,
right.
Which is an online counselling thing, which people can literally go on, and if they feel low, or if they've got a relationship issue, or if they've had a loss in the family, they can do it online. And the thing is, what I like about that as a person is not everybody wants to fucking go and sit in a room with someone I don't know, pour their heart out, and it's expensive, right?
What's your view on therapy, Till?
I don't look at therapy as therapy. I actually think that in life we need to talk to people and share experiences. So if we go through something traumatic, like we've spoken about your mum today, we've spoken about how you felt, and you know, to actually be able to just put it out there,
yeah,
it's good to get it out.
You're like my therapist, really, because I've told you things I ain't fucking told.
I'm Dr. Terry.
Dr. Tell, Mr. Stone. Oh, mate, yeah.
But genuinely, that saying about it's good to talk, you can't and the thing is, sometimes the reason I think this online thing is genius, and it's a massive company worldwide, but the reason why I think what they've done is genius is because not everybody, and look, you know, if I need a therapist and I contact you and I come and pay you whatever it is, 100 quid or 200 quid to sit with you for an hour or half an hour and tell you my problems, right? I might fucking hate you,
yeah,
right? And then you kind of go, or somebody said something to me the other day which was fucking shocking, right? And they said that they tried to commit suicide 3 times, and they went to a therapist to try and fucking, because someone said, you need therapy, you need to get your head around this, you've got to stop trying to fucking do this because you will end up taking your own life, right? So he said, right, I don't want to do it. You're right, I've got my family, I've got my kids, I'm going to go and see someone. And he was like sitting there pouring his heart out to this therapist, and they were like, right, that's it now. And it weren't like, and he said, I'm halfway through the fucking thing, and you're just like cutting me off.
Do you know what that's going to do to him? He's not going to open up to another man now.
No, but he actually said, and I was like, fuck therapy. And he goes, I just went. Now, what could have happened to him quite easily?
Gone on from
he could have killed himself.
Yeah.
Right. But what he did, luckily for him, he found some sort of strength and he managed to navigate and get through himself.
Yeah.
But what I like about this online solution is you talk to them, and if you don't like them, you can change.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, it's cheaper than going to see
It's not AI, obviously, it's a real person.
No, it's a real person.
Okay,
so it's real people that doing it. But because it's on the internet, it's weird. Like, if you go on a Zoom call or you speak to somebody online, it doesn't feel like real life. But when we're sitting here talking, it's real life, right? So you're more likely, and people, you look at these keyboard warriors, people on social media digging you out or calling you or whatever, they're only doing it because they're behind a keyboard.
I'd love to get to their house.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people. But when you go to something like that, you're going to be a lot more open and you're going to share a lot more, and because you feel like you can.
Yeah.
And I always think that if I have to have a conversation with somebody and it's a hard conversation, it could be about anything.
Yeah.
I always find it's harder to do it in line, and that's why lots of people,
harder to do it online.
No, harder to do it in real life.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, sorry.
But it's easier to do things online. So lots of people talk about being ghosted, or people talk about people dumping them by text. It's a lot easier to say to somebody, so I don't want to see you anymore, right? Than actually look them in the eye and go,
no,
look,
mate, you're right. Yeah, absolutely.
So I think, but that the reason why I'm an advocate of that online therapy, counselling, friendship, whatever you want to call it, is that you I think you're going to open up more.
Do you use it too?
No, right? I haven't used it because I haven't needed to use it, but I know people that have used it, and they've said it's been really like life changing for them. And the thing for me is, if I did need to use it, I think if you said to me, you've got a choice here, Tel, you can either use an online therapy service or you can use an in real life therapy service. I would say, do you know what? I'll try the online first, right? Yeah. And if that doesn't work, then I'll try it. But the thing is, that company's having massive results worldwide. So what they've created, whoever's come up with this idea, is made it accessible for all, and it's not as expensive. And look, not everybody can afford to fucking spend 100 quid or 200 quid on a fucking counsellor every week. You know what I mean? So the fact that they've come up with a cost-effective way of doing it, I just thought it was, you know, in life when you think such a fucking good idea, I wish I'd have thought of that.
it's a good idea, Till, but like, I think this goes for at least, I want to say 50% of men, but let's say 30% of men don't want to talk.
No, but that's why I think that makes it easier, because if you don't want to talk,
they don't want to talk.
It's hard.
Because obviously in the circles I've moved around in, talking about your feelings, you could be considered weak.
Right.
And I think that's fucking bollocks, mate. It makes me want to talk to people about how I feel. I ain't actually got no one to talk to.
But I think if you talk to the right person, right, you know, I think you can navigate that. But I think if you went around to all your mates, if you went down the cage fighting gym and go, oh, I feel really low,
you can't do
be
it.
like, shut up, right? But that's only because you're in that environment. But if you've actually got some good friends, and you know, you talk to them openly and they talk to you openly, sometimes it's good to share shit.
Do you know what though? So when I'm not with like the people the naughtier people, when I'm with like my normal pals and that, like, they look at me like I'm like the strong one, so I can't really afford to be like that. I don't really want to show any holes in my armour, especially at 44, mate.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't give a fuck a few years ago, but people are very. If once they realise they can talk to you, you're just gonna have shit in your ears all the time.
Right.
So that's why there's people out there who are like professionals at doing it. But I've been in front of counsellors before, and the minute the session started, I just felt my blood getting hot.
Right.
I thought, this is. Do you know what I mean? I'm in a position. You're trying to help me, but I don't want to be here. I'm on your fucking couch, and you're talking to me. I don't actually want to say anything.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what? I reckon you should give that online
thing a try
and see what you think.
100%,
See what you think.
I'll try it.
You'll either ring me and say it wasn't for me, or you'll ring me and go, F me, I wish I'd have done it
I will.
3 years ago.
Do you know what? Everyone does need to talk, and I've got a few issues. Not nowhere near what I used to have. Like, if I was the man 10 years ago, fucking hell. I was my own worst enemy. My head was full of fucking monsters, and I didn't know where I was going. I was quite capable of murdering people, mate, and like I needed to move away from that. And now I'm in this mindset, and it's just recently happened. Obviously, I told you I've gone through the 2 years of bad depression. I started to bump around with a couple of good boys in the gym. Got involved with Huey again. Huey's a fucking major role model in my life because he's strong, he's good. He's committed to 100% to you when you're in his gym, right. And you can't feel you don't give you time to be depressed.
Right.
So me going back to the gym, training with him, he's given me my title fight. What's the date, Rich? 23rd of March, Circus Tavern. Is that camera still on me, Till?
It is, yeah.
23rd of March, Circus Tavern. I will try and be the new cruiserweight British. Yeah, that one.
So you're actually fighting so straight away. You're going straight for a title.
Well, I've had 4 fights for Victor at the IBA, and I've won all 4.
Amazing.
Obviously, a couple of them were journeymen,
right?
But a couple of them weren't good fights. And was in the gym the other day, and like obviously because I knew I had this podcast coming up, I thought this is a chance for me to relaunch myself.
Right. Get
myself hair cut. This is the first time I've had my hair done in like 2 years, mate. Right. I was in a fucking
mess, look good, mate. You look good.
So like,
listen, the way I look at this, you've gone through the shit. You're now in a positive place. You're having a title fight. Colin Wilby's back.
I'm fucking back.
Yeah, baby.
I'm going to hurt someone in a good way, under controlled conditions where I can't get nicked. And tell, I've just launched my security company over Christmas.
Yeah.
It's called Harrier Security.
Right.
So what we've done is we've taken the best technology that we can put our hands on today, cameras, 5K, everything, and we've combined that with more traditional manpower.
Right.
So like we get a van full of lumps. It's got all the fucking CCTV. So we've got two units, 180 5K, 360 degrees. We shoot the mast up 30 foot in the air, can see everything. So at the minute we're parking like in between nightclubs, bolstering their security. If we get a call, we go to that club. Plant hire sites. We've got a patrol car. It's got a situational awareness button on it.
Right.
So say if I'm driving past you and you look like you're a bit dodgy, I'll push that. It'll take a 360 degree smudge. So that goes on our report. But yeah, opened up my own. I've been working for security firms. So I thought, I know the game inside out.
Do your own, yeah.
But like, obviously finding a niche for something new. So combining like the new CCTV generation with the old school doorman generation. I've got a partner called Zoltan. He is an absolute fucking whiz with the CCTVs, mate.
Amazing.
I mean, if you was a mile away, locked yourself in a safe wanking and he wanted to see you, he fucking could, mate. He's got the technology to see you, mate. What it was as well, he showed me some things that he can do with his CCTV, and I thought of things that I've done in Dartford, and I thought, I hope them fucking sort of cameras weren't floating around then, because I would have been caught bang to rights. The amount of £80 fines I've had for urinating in Dartford.
Right.
Fucking CCTV, fucking. Yeah. But anyway, that's my company, Harrier Security.
Amazing.
We've got 2 contracts at the minute.
Amazing.
Looking for a third.
Yeah.
And it's the first time that I've had a business and I've not had to fucking... Obviously, I have to do bits and bobs. But it's nice to sit back and let it run.
So if anybody wants to get in touch with you, Colin, how do they do that?
Put the bat signal on, fire it into the air, and I'll be there.
And within 5 minutes, Colin will be there.
Response, Harrier Security. Yeah. But it's just a nice business.
So you're Batman.
Huh?
You're Batman.
I'm Batman. Michael Keaton was the best Batman, wasn't he? Because he was half a baddie. When he nutted that geezer and threw him off the roof in the first film, I thought, ooh.
Do you know what? It's hard to say who was the best one, but I grew up on the TV one.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Adam.
Yeah. Whatever his name is.
He was a bit of a fanny though, wasn't he?
Do you know what? I grew up on it though. So
I did an all-tell. I watched that every
he was my Batman. But I think Christian fucking Bale was good.
I don't know. I think Michael Keaton was the benchmark for me because he was a baddie.
Right.
In the first film, he didn't want to bar with the police.
Right,
he used to shoot off before they got there, didn't he? And then in the second film, he started licking Commissioner Gordon's arse a little bit.
Right.
By the third film, they were having dinner every night together. And he's going, he just got silly, didn't he? But I like films. I'm into my films.
Amazing.
That's my switch off.
Yeah.
Films. Do you know what? Let me tell you something, Tel. Do you know your film Doghouse?
Oh, yeah.
With Danny Dyer?
Yeah.
So I only realised that was you in there.
Right.
A little.
You didn't realise it. You saw me dressed up as a woman. Did you think I looked hot?
No. When I used to watch it, I used to have a slight addiction. That fucking chair keeps making that noise. I had a slight addiction to tramadol.
Right.
I used to train all day, and this is my comfort. And I've done this for about 6 months because I couldn't get to the end. I knew I've watched the film all the way through, but that was my comfort film.
Right.
Doghouse with you and Danny Dyer in it. So this would be my routine. Finish the MMA.
Please tell me you weren't watching me dress up as a woman in slow motion.
Do you know what? What bit that gets me is where Danny's got that big fat thing and he's tied up.
And she's eating his fingers or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, she's looking at that's every Dartford girl.
It's so funny.
That's every Dartford girl, mate.
Is that what they all look like over there? I've not been to Dartford for a while. I'll have to check it out.
I don't want to say anything that's going to get me beaten up by all the Dartford women, but it's not great.
There he is.
It's not great. Oh, f*** myself, haven't I? You might as well, I might as well just let it all out. Dartford's bad.
Right.
Yeah. There's some respectful girls and there's some unrespectful girls.
Right.
But yeah, that used to be my comfort thing. So I used to get home from training. I used to have my tramadol. I used to have 3 50-minute tramadol 50s. So this would be my routine. Sit on my lazy boy, put Doghouse on. I don't even remember the music at the start. That's dun, 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 dun. I used to pop 3 tramadol, wash them down with a cup of tea, so they melted quicker and I get buzzing quicker. Right. I used to sit there all night. I used to wake up and the subtitles were coming. I'd wind it back, have another tramadol. And that was my thing, gouging out to Doghouse. I used to watch that every fucking night for about 6 months.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But now I've got comfort. I don't take the drugs now. But I've got Comfort TV, Family Guy.
Well,
I
that's
watch
good.
that over and over and over. South Park, Brickleberry. It's all cartoons now.
Yeah.
Because I've done so much of that stuff that you see in the films and that in real time.
You don't want to watch it.
Like, there's so much shit going on out there and it's all horrible. So why do you want to get indoors and your escapism is just switching back on watching what's... I like to watch escapism, innit?
right.
I want to watch something nice, Mighty Boosh or something, Noel Fielding, something funny.
Brilliant.
I don't really like watching war films either.
Right.
It's not a bit of me.
Right.
It's going on out there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You don't need to... you know what I mean? There's a thin line between waterboarding yourself with the violence, especially like when you're a fighter as well.
Yeah.
If I watch a UFC fight before I go to sleep, I'll be up for an extra hour.
Right.
If I watch any fighting at all on TV, I'm not sleeping.
Wow.
I get so hyped up. It's just bad.
Well, Colin, I wanted to thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about your fight on the 23rd.
I am.
I hope you
I
can
hope
win.
I can still do it at 44
I'm sure
too.
you can. I'm sure you can. You bring that belt home, mate. And again, thank you so much for coming on.
Mate, it's been a pleasure.
Great to hear your story, mate. I mean, you know, it
Yeah.
was really, really...
Obviously, there's bits
yeah.
we couldn't talk about.
Yeah.
But obviously, like...
That's right. You never know. There might be a part 2.
I'm back. But yeah, it's been lovely.
No, thank you very much for coming
That's
on.
the one,
I'm
mate.
going to wrap this up now. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Criminal Connection podcast. Colin Wilby, what a guest, what a journey, what an experience, what a life. Make sure you tune in next week. We've got another great guest. And make sure you like, subscribe, and tell all your friends about the Criminal Connection podcast. And we'll see you on the other side.